Hello everyone, welcome you all to Namma Laex, Bengaluru. So you all have written UPSC Civil Services Prelims 2026 and it was a little bit unconventional and it was a little tougher side, both GS as well as CSAT. Okay, so I'm sure the cutoff will go down, it will be very low, okay, which is very unexpected. Cutoff will also be very unexpected. So and today we are going to discuss the UPSC Civil Service Prelims 2026 paper, and I'm going to deal with polity, governance schemes, current affairs, ethics and other miscellaneous questions. So let me start with polity questions now. So the first question, so this is the set A I'm going to discuss. Okay, set A questions. So polity will start from 54th question. So 54th question says that X was addressing a seminar on the meaning of the term law as provided under Article 13, Part 3 of the Constitution of India. X explained that the meaning of the term law in the Constitution of India was very comprehensive. It included ordinances, orders, and even rules and regulations. Y pointed out that the term law in Article 13 also included custom or usage having in the territory of India the force of law, to which X was not convinced. Based on the above, select the correct conclusion from the options given below. So this is what is UPSC, you must understand. UPSC would have asked you directly what does Article 13 says. But here they are giving you a very lengthy statement so that they want to check your patience. Okay, mental alertness. And that is why they are giving you a lengthy statement to study, comprehend it, understand it, okay, and then derive the answers. So here X is saying that Article 13 is very broad and it includes the not only the laws, it includes ordinances, orders, rules and regulations. And Y is saying that apart from this, the Article 13 will also include the customs which are in usage having the force of law. So here let's see the options now. X is correct in the interpretation of law, including the view on non-inclusion of custom. Okay, so this is a wrong statement. Okay, X is correct. So here X interpretation of the law is correct, Y's interpretation is also correct, but X is not convinced with respect to the Y's statement. That is why X is correct, okay, but his non-inclusion of custom, that is wrong. The view of Y that law included custom is not correct. Okay, it is actually incorrect statement. The views of both X and Y are correct. Okay, you might be confused here. The views of both X and Y, the view of only Y is correct. So here you can tell that the interpretation of the X, okay, here X is correct in the interpretation of law, okay, that is correct, but the view, that is, he is not convinced with the Y's perspective, okay, that is why the views of X will be wrong here. The view of only Y is correct. Yes, the view of only Y. Why? Because the Y, he is pointing out that Article 13 will also include custom usage having in the territory of India force of law. Okay, but X is not convinced with respect to the Y. That is why the view of only Y is correct. That means option D is the correct one. Coming to the next question. Consider the following statements with reference to the Constitution of India. There is no article in the Constitution of India that specifies that the Constitution of India will be officially called the Constitution of India. But here is a twist. Article 393 of the Constitution says that the Constitution, this Constitution may be called the Constitution of India. Okay, so Article 393 is there. So that is why this statement will be wrong. Second one, there is no article in the Constitution of India that specifies that the Indian Independence Act 1947 and Government of India Act 1935 stands repealed. So again, there is no article in the Constitution. So whenever there is such extreme term, you will need to be very careful. So Article 395 of the Constitution repeals Indian Independence Act 1947 as well as the Government of India Act 1935. Okay, so the second statement is also wrong. Third one, there is no article in the Constitution of India that mentions 26 January 1950 as the date of commencement of the Constitution of India. So here Article 394 is the one that specifies that certain provisions like citizenship and elections come into effect immediately upon the adoption on November 26, 1949, while the rest of the Constitution officially commences on 26 January 1950. So again, there is no article is a wrong statement. So which one of the following conclusions? So this is a new pattern they have introduced. Now they used to give 1 only, 2 only, 3 only like that, but now they are giving which one of the following conclusions can be drawn. So all 3 statements are correct is wrong. There is no correct statement. Okay, so option B is the correct statement here. So let's also read the C and D. There are 2 correct statements that include statement 3. Okay, as we know, the 3 of them are wrong. There is only one correct statement. Okay, so these are also wrong. Option B will be the correct one. So the next question, consider the following statements about the provisions pertaining to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in India. So remember, in UPSC, 5th and 6th schedule is a repeated topic. Okay, so now they have went one step ahead. Provisions regarding the administration of tribal areas in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram are given in the 5th schedule of the Constitution. So you should be very mindful while reading the question. It is 6th schedule and not the 5th schedule. So this is a wrong statement. Some tribes of India are entitled to exemption from paying income tax on certain incomes. Although you may not be knowing this exactly, try to read this very carefully. Some tribes, it's a very generic term. They are not pointing out to specific tribes, but they are telling some tribes is a very generic statement, and certain incomes. Okay, they are not specifying which income, certain income. It can be any kind of income, we don't know. So this is a generic statement and this is a right one. The Constitution of India provides for reservation of seats in the panchayats for women belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So here Article 243D clause 3 will tell you that not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats reserved under clause 1 shall be reserved for women belonging to scheduled caste, or the case may be the scheduled tribes. So here explicitly it is giving reservation to the women SCs and STs. So this is also a correct one. Now which one of the following conclusions can be drawn? There are 2 correct statements, that includes statement 2. Yes, this is correct one. There are 2 correct statements, that are statement 1 and 3. So as we have seen, 1 is incorrect. There is only one correct statement. We have seen there are 2 actually. All 3 are correct. This is wrong. So there are 2 correct statements, that includes statement 2 will be the correct one, that is option A. Okay, so next one, consider the following statements in respect of questions asked by members in the parliament. So here again, parliament is also one such very important chapter in Indian polity. Okay, so here they have asked, unstarred questions are those to which a member desires an oral answer in the house. Starred questions are those to which a member desires a written answer. No supplementary question can be asked on an unstarred question. So here you need to understand the difference between a starred question and a unstarred question. When we say it is starred question, when the answer should be given orally in the house. When the answer can be given orally, there can also be a supplementary question followed. Okay, any of the member can ask a supplementary question. But when it is an unstarred question, then the answer should be given in a written format. Okay, so the particular minister will not speak, rather it will be given in the written form. So when it is given in the written form, then there is no supplementary questions that will be allowed. Okay, so now see, unstarred questions are those to which member desires oral answer. No, it is a written format. Starred question are those to which a member desires a written answer. No, they have just interchanged the 2 statements actually. No supplementary question can be asked on an unstarred question. Yes, this is correct. Since unstarred question will be given in a written format, there is no supplementary question. So 3 only will be the correct. So which one of the following conclusions can be drawn? All 3 are correct. This is wrong. There are 2 correct statements. This is also wrong. There is only one correct statement. Yes, option C will be the right one here. Consider the following statements about the Committee on the Welfare of Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes of the Parliament of India. So here they are asking about the parliamentary committee that is also specific to the welfare of SCs and STs. All the members of the committee are elected from both the houses of the parliament. The chairperson is appointed by the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. So this is a wrong statement. Rather, it is by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The chairman will be appointed by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. 20 members are elected by the Rajya Sabha and 10 members by the Lok Sabha. So if you have read the parliamentary committees, you will know that usually Lok Sabha will have more strength compared to the Rajya Sabha. So Lok Sabha 20, Rajya Sabha 10. So again, this is also a wrong statement. No minister except for Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment is eligible to be member of this committee. So here, if you have the basic knowledge about the parliamentary committees, you will know that the minister is not allowed to be part of the parliamentary committee. So basically, the parliamentary committee is established to hold the minister into accountability, to see the progress of the work done by the ministry. So that is why if the minister itself is part of the committee, it will lead to the conflict of interest, and that is why the minister will not be part of the parliamentary committees. Okay, so this is again a wrong statement. Union Minister of Social Justice will not be part of the committee. Fourth one, members are elected for a fixed term of 2 years. So again here, if you have the knowledge, it is only 1 year. The parliamentary committee members will have the tenure of only 1 year. So this is also a wrong statement. All the 4 are wrong. So which one of the following conclusions? There is no correct statement. Option D will be the right one. Next question. Which of the following statements about a zero first information report, that is zero FIR, under Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita is are correct? So this was very much into the news. Zero FIR, post Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, BNSS, that replaced CRPC. A zero FIR can be lodged at a police station even though the place of commission of a cognizable or non-cognizable offence is outside the territorial jurisdiction of that police station. So here you need to understand this is partially correct, because zero FIR means the FIR need not be filed in a police station which has the jurisdiction of the crime. Rather, this can be filed in any of the police station. But the thing is, this is only with respect to the cognizable offence. Okay, so when it is a cognizable offence, it's a serious offence. In that, the concerned person can be arrested without a warrant. Okay, there is no need of warrant. So only in case of cognizable offence, zero FIR will come into picture, and not in the non-cognizable offence. So that is why the option 1, that is statement 1, will be wrong. The officer who is in charge of the police station where a zero FIR has been lodged may, with the permission of the competent authority, initiate preliminary inquiry. So here they are not mandating, rather they are telling it as a may. So here a police may, with the permission of competent authority, can initiate the preliminary inquiry, or they may transfer it to the concerned the police station that has the jurisdiction of the crime. So here 2 will be the correct one. Under zero FIR, it is obligatory for the informant to furnish information electronically. So it's a very common sense, you can tell. You cannot force the informant to give the information electronically. So 3 is also wrong and 1 is also wrong. So only 2 will be the correct here. D, option D will be the right one. With reference to the organizations under the Government of India, consider the following details. Central Economic Intelligence Bureau to coordinate between various law enforcement agencies. Yes, this is correct. But this is not under Ministry of Home, rather it is under the Ministry of Finance. Economic Intelligence. Okay, with that term you can eliminate, it is Ministry of Finance. Serious Fraud Investigation Office to investigate complex corporate frauds. Since it is corporate, okay, related to corporate, it is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay, not under the Finance. So this is also wrong. CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, to preserve values in public life and ensure the health of the national economy. Yes, it is Ministry of Personal, Public Grievance and Pension. Many of you will be confused here. CBI may come under Ministry of Home, but it is coming under Ministry of Personal and Public Grievance and Pension. This is the right one. Again, see, you should not be in a hurry. Read carefully. In how many of the above rows are given details correctly matched? They are not asking you which of the above is correct. Okay, then it would have been the statement 3. They are asking in how many. Okay, how many means only one, that is third one is correct. Only one, that is A, will be the correct option here. Okay, so these are the polity questions. So this time it was very less weightage given to the polity. There are only 9 questions in the polity. Usually 16 to 20 questions will be coming from the Indian polity, but this time they have changed the pattern. Only 9 questions are from the Indian polity. So now we will see some of the current affairs based questions. Consider the following statements with reference to Sagarmala program of the Government of India. So they have asked on a Sagarmala program of Government of India. Sagarmala program seeks to achieve port-led economic growth through cost-effective and sustainable coastal infrastructure. So this is the basic objective of the Sagarmala program. It is a port-led economic growth. The success of the Sagarmala program is reflected in significant growth in the coastal and inland waterway shipping along with improved global port rankings. Okay, so this is also a correct statement. Sagarmala 2.0 aims to position India as a global maritime innovation hub aligned with our Atmanirbhar Bharat and Viksit Bharat 2047 visions. Okay, all the 3 statements are correct, but they have introduced a new pattern, that is, which of the following relationships among the above statement are correct. See, they usually used to give the 3 statements, which of them are correct or how many of the above are correct, like that they used to ask, but they have made it lengthy, okay, by adding the another pattern, that is, which of the following relationships are correct. Statement 2 validates the effectiveness of the strategies which are envisioned in the statement 1. Yes. Statement 3 extends the objectives of the statement 1 by embedding them into future oriented innovation. Yes. Statement 1 contradicts statement 3 by focusing only on traditional infrastructure. Okay, so this is a wrong. It is not a contradictory. Sagarmala seeks to achieve port-led economic growth through cost-effective, sustainable coastal infra, and 2.0 aims to position India as global maritime. Okay, they are not contradictory. Okay, statement 3 will be the wrong one here. So therefore, statement 1 and 2, that is option B, will be the correct one. Next question. At the United Nations Ocean Conference held in June 2025 in France, the FAO, that is Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, demonstrated its leading voice on marine and ocean issues, especially on sustainable fisheries and aquaculture for resilient livelihood and blue transformation. Which of the following combinations about 4 betters proposed by FAO for blue transformation is correct? See, this is again you need to understand why UPSC is making very lengthy statement. They could have directly asked at the UNOC held in June 2025, by the FAO, the 4 betters were proposed. Which are those 4? Okay, they would have asked directly, but they want to make it deliberately lengthy one, so that the candidate should have the patience and should be able to understand the question clearly even in the pressure time, the 2 hours moment. Okay, the 4 betters. The 4 betters are better production, better nutrition, better environment and better life. Okay, so this is the correct one. So that's why this year they have gone too much into the factual aspects. Consider the following statements about Mission Sudarshan Chakra of India. It aims to enhance India's air defense, ballistic missile defense, and aerial offensive capabilities. Yes, correct. The mission is being designed to enhance rapid, precise, and powerful defense responses, reinforcing India's strategic autonomy. Yes. One of the aim of the mission is to cover all public place of India by an expanded nationwide security shield by 2035. It's a very extreme statement, and this is not even correct. Covering all public places is a wrong one. So here 1 and 2 will stand as correct. Consider the following statements with reference to the A Impact Summit 2026 held in New Delhi. So they are asking about the A Impact Summit that was held recently in New Delhi. The summit's intellectual framework was based on 3 foundational sutras of people, planning, progress. See, again, here you can observe why this year paper was very difficult. UPSC has went into the aspect of changing even a small word also. See here, people, planning. Okay, it is not planning actually. People, planet, and progress. They have done it as planning here. Okay, so that is why this year paper is a bit a difficult one. So this is a wrong statement. The preamble of the summit stresses democratizing AI resources, which acknowledges the Charter for Democratic Diffusion of AI as a binding framework. See, you will have to read each and every word very carefully. Binding framework to support locally relevant. See, all of this is correct. Only thing is, it is not a binding framework. Okay, so this is again a wrong statement. The New Delhi Declaration on AI Impact was structured around 7 chakras or pillars that included access for social empowerment, AI for science, secure and trusted AI. Okay, so this is a very right statement. See, some of the YouTubers will come with elimination tricks and they will tell you that factual aspects will be wrong. If you think so, this is actually a right statement, 7 chakras. Okay, so here the only 3 is a correct one, D. The other 2 are actually wrong. So D is the correct option here. Which of the following items of defense hardware is manufactured in India? Su-30 Mk fighter jets, T-90 Mk3 tanks, yes. Akula class submarine. Okay, the Akula class submarine, this is manufactured in Russia and not India. Okay, the 3 is wrong here. 1 and 2 will be the correct one here. Okay, next one. The Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany visited India in January 2026. Which of the following are not correct? Okay, you will have to read very carefully. They will sometimes see which of them is correct, not correct, or sometimes incorrect. Okay, read it very carefully. Is not correct in terms of outcomes of this visit. Signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the All India Institute of Ayurveda and University of Hamburg. Okay, so if you just skim through the statement, you might be tempted to put it as right. It is not University of Hamburg, rather it is the Charette University is the correct one. So this is a wrong statement. Signing of Memorandum of Understanding on Youth Hockey Development between Hockey India and the German Hockey Federation. So this is a right outcome. Establishment of a bilateral dialogue mechanism on the Indo-Pacific. Yes, this is also right. Opening of an honorary consul of Germany in Lucknow. Okay, there was no such outcome in the meetup. So 4th one is also wrong and 1 is also wrong. So 2 and 3 will be the correct here, option A. The Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS, recently introduced a national standard to test and assess bomb disposal system. Which of the following statements with regard to this statement is or are correct? The new standard is known as IS 19445-2025. Yes, it is correct. It will improve interoperability of equipment across engines. Okay, so whenever the new system is introduced, it will be usually the upgradation. So it will improve interoperability is the right one. It was developed by TBRL DRDO in collaboration with the 30th Central Scientific Research Institute of Russia. Okay, so this is a factual and this is a wrong statement. It is not with collaboration of the Russia. So 1 and 2 statements will be right. That is option C will be the correct one. Next one. X is born in UK, was conferred the Nobel Prize in 2025. He was a professor in an American university when this prize was announced? Identify the X. So here you should know in 2025 who are all the ones who got the Nobel Prize, who is from UK, and the professor also from the American university. Okay, it's a very factual, we'll have to know. It is John Clark, that is option C will be the correct one. Next, 84th question. Which of the following statements with regard to India's indigenous new high resolution weather model, the Bharat forecast system, are correct? Its object is to generate forecast at panchayats cluster level. Yes, it is very much correct. It was developed by IIT Delhi. So again, this is not by IIT Delhi, rather it is IITD Pune. Okay, Indian Institute of IITM, it is Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune. Okay, see, while reading, if you are just skim through IIT, something here also IIT is there, here also IIT is there. If you put like that, it is wrong actually. It is Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune is the correct one. So this is wrong. So only one, option A is the correct one. Okay, next one. Which of the following statements about rare earth elements and critical minerals are correct? Modern technological innovations, including artificial intelligence, robotics, and space exploration, extensively utilize rare earth elements. Yes, it is correct. China has highest share in the mining of the rare earth elements, followed by India. Okay, this is a wrong statement. Okay, there are other countries like Australia, US who are leading, okay, compared to India. So India is not the leading one. So 2 is wrong. The government of India has launched National Critical Mineral Mission in 2025 to establish a robust framework for self-reliance in the critical mineral sector. Yes, it is correct. Rare earth elements are a set of 13 metallic elements. Okay, this is not 13, rather it is 17. So 4th is also wrong. 2 and 4 will be wrong here. So 1 and 3 will be the correct one. Option A is the right one. Okay, so this is the end of current affairs, and now let's move on to the schemes specific to the government, that is central government schemes. Which of the following statements with regard to the persons with disabilities in India are correct? The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, an act passed by the Parliament of India in 2018, mandates reservation in education and employment, places a legal duty on governments to ensure accessibility and non-discrimination. Okay, so here again understand why the paper was difficult. It was not 2018, rather it was 2016. Okay, this is the first time that the UPSC has gone into one step ahead, and it is framing the question where the factuals are being tuned. Okay, so this is a very deeper aspect they have went. So this is wrong, not 2018, it is 2016. Other thing is, in fact, it is correct, mandates reservation, education and employment, but 2018 is wrong. The Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan focuses on achieving universal accessibility for persons with disabilities across 3 key domains: built infrastructure, transport systems and information communication technology. Okay, this is a correct statement. Then third one, the National Divyangajan Finance and Development Corporation is a public sector organization set up under Ministry of Corporate Affairs as a non-profit company to promote entrepreneurship among persons with disabilities. Okay, so very careful, National Divyangajan Finance and Development Corporation, this comes under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, not under Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay, so 1 is wrong, 3 is also wrong, only 2 is the correct statement. Which of the following statements with respect to the revamped Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan are correct? The period of its implementation is 1st April 2021 to 31st of March 2026. Again, see why the paper was difficult. It is 1st April is correct, but it is 2022, not 21. Okay, this is correct, 31st March 2026. This is correct. Okay, but the entire statement is wrong because it is from 1st April 2022. Okay, it is wrong. The key objective of revamped RGSA is to develop the governance capabilities of the Panchayati Raj institutions to deliver on the sustainable development goals. Yes. The share of the central funding for the revamped RGSA is 100%. So this is if you know the basic knowledge, you will know that the central state share will differ. Northeastern state usually 90:10, other state usually 50:50 or 60:40. So 3 is wrong here and 1 is also wrong. So only 2 is the correct. Option B will be correct. Which of the following statements in relation to Nirantar, that is National Institute for Research and Application of Natural Resources to transform, adapt and build resilience, a platform of institutions under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, is are correct. So you have to be very careful while reading the lengthy statements. Ecosystem survey and analysis is a vertical under this platform, the lead institute of which is Botanical Survey of India, Kolkata. Okay, under the Nirantar, this ecosystem survey analysis will come. So and now the lead institute for this is Botanical Survey of India, Kolkata. Okay, this is a correct statement. Research and management of ecosystem service is a vertical under this platform. The lead institute is Central Zoo Authority. You should be able to eliminate here ecosystem service and Central Zoo Authority. Okay, this is a wrong one. So rather it is a Indian Council of Forest Research and Education, Dehradun. So that is the correct one. So second is wrong. Capacity development support is a vertical under this platform, the lead institute of which is Indian Institute of Forest Management, Bhopal. Okay, this is again a correct statement. So here the 2 is wrong, 1 and 3 will be right. So option B is the correct one. Okay, so this is the end of the government schemes. Now we will see some of the newly introduced questions, that is ethics and miscellaneous. So here you need to learn a lesson that some people will just keep reading for the prelims, that is not good. You should also have the knowledge of the mains. So that is a caution that is given by the UPSC. Mr. X, a senior officer, was overseeing a critical vaccination program during a pandemic. Okay, he found that private service provider responsible for vaccine distribution was compromising on the quality to make the profits. Despite immense pressure to manage the issue due to vested interest, he raised his voice based on the principle of public administration, which he learnt during various training programs attended across his career. He reported the issue to the appropriate vigilance authority and halted the contract to ensure citizen welfare. So basically here an officer has he has seen there was a compromise in the delivery of the vaccine and he reported such a issue to the concerned authority. So which of the following principle of public administration, okay, was most strongly demonstrated? Esprit de corps, wrong. Equity, wrong. Accountability, yes. Delegation, again it's a wrong one. So accountability is the correct option here. Okay, next one. In a multi-ethnic district where both economic competition and historical grievances frequently led to community tensions, a flashpoint has arisen with a government decision to allocate land for a waste management facility near a tribal hamlet, sparking protest by the tribal community, which claimed that land was sacred and critical to their cultural identity. Okay, so here there is a conflict between the cultural identity of the tribes versus the waste management. Okay, or you can say the urban health. Okay, there is a conflict. At the same time, urban residents and local industries supported the project. Okay, urban, because it will benefit the urban population, they will be supporting it, citing severe solid waste challenge and health concerns due to lack of proper disposal site. Okay, the conflict has escalated with road blockades, social media campaigns and allegations of police excess. As a responsible government official, you are tasked with resolving the situation through mediation, ensuring sustainable outcome that balances environmental needs, tribal rights and urban public health. Okay, so consider the following statement with reference to the above. A successful conflict resolution process must begin with acknowledging the cultural concerns of protesting tribal community before discussing technical alternatives. Yes, as a in charge, you will have to consider the needs and demands of each and every. Okay, you need not just go with the majority. Second one, The government should move ahead with the project without delay to address urban health concerns which outweigh the sentiments. Okay, it is not the right statement here. So 2 is wrong. If 2 is gone, you are left with only 1, 3 and 4. But still, let's read and verify the remaining statements. Creating a multi-stakeholder dialogue platform including tribal leaders, environmental experts and municipal representatives to build mutual understanding and help de-escalate the tension. Yes, this is a democratic attitude and this is required for an official. Conducting an independent environmental and social impact assessment and sharing findings transparently with both sides to facilitate evidence-based decision making. Okay, this is a rational one, evidence-based decision making. So fourth one is also correct. So 1, 3, 4, that is option A will be the correct one. Okay, moving to the next one. Miss X is a mid-level civil service official working in the urban development department of a major city. Recently, she was involved in approving a contract for a public infrastructure project, a new community park. During the approval process, she received a piece of confidential information indicating that one of the shortlisted contractors had a history of poor workmanship and allegation of corruption in other cities. Okay, so she has got this confidential information, though nothing had been legally proven. Okay, this is a crucial statement. Nothing has been legally proven. The head of the department, Mr. Y, advised her not to disclose the information to the project committee or the public because it could delay the project and damage the city's reputation also. However, Ms. X believed that withholding such information compromised transparency and public trust. So what among the following should Ms. X do now? Okay, should she disclose the information or should she withhold? What she should do? Immediately disclose the information to the project committee and the public. Second, recommend to remove the contractor from the shortlist to protect the project's integrity. Propose a limited disclosure to a oversight committee while keeping the information confidential from the public for the time being. So here you need to analyze, although the allegations are there, this is not legally proven. That is why immediately disclosing the information will be wrong. Remove the contractor is also an irrational one. Propose a limited disclosure to the oversight committee. Okay, so this will be the right step. So B, 3 only will be the correct answer here. Okay, next one. This is very unconventional question. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? 3 corps, this is correct, Dimapur, Nagaland. 4 corps in Tejpur of Assam, yes. 14 corps in Leh, Ladakh, this is correct. 33 crops, this is wrong. This is in Sukna of West Bengal. So they have asked not correctly matched. So option D is the one, that is the correct statement. Okay. And the next question is, which of the following statements with regard to the Grand Slam tennis tournament is correct? The tournaments have a shared governance structure to establishing a partnership among the 4 Grand Slam tournaments. So the Grand Slams, so these will operate under a collaborative framework known as Grand Slam tennis, and thus they have a shared governance structure. They are open for entry to all internationally ranked tennis players. See, above the age of 14 is the criteria, but not to all. Okay, it is subject to the disciplinary actions by the concerned authority. So 2 will be wrong. There is a limitation on number of wild cards a player may receive to compete in a Grand Slam. Okay, this is again a wrong. There is no such limitation of wild cards. Okay, so 3 is wrong. Okay, and 2 is also wrong. So only one, option C will be the correct here. Okay, next question. Which one of the following pairs of semiconductor plants in India and their location is not correctly matched? Okay, you should look at not correctly matched. CG Power and Industrial Solutions Private Limited in partnership with Renesas Electronics and Stars Microelectronics. Okay, so this is in Gujarat, Sanand of Gujarat, this is correct one. Then Tata Semiconductor Assembly and Test Private Limited, this is in Jagi Road of Assam, this is correct. HCL Foxconn joint venture, so this is not in Madhya Pradesh, rather it is in Uttar Pradesh, Zewar. 6M Private Limited, so this is in Odisha, okay, Bhubaneswar. So this is a correct one. Incorrect is option C. Next one. Consider the following statements with regard to the film Boong. This film has recently won British Academy of Film and Television Arts Award in the Children's and Family Film category. So this was into the news and it is a correct statement. This is directed by Lakshmi Priya Devi. Yes. This is the first Indian film to win a BAFTA award in the Children's and Family Film. Okay, that is why it was a significant in news. So 1, 2, 3, all of them are actually correct. Okay, so this is the end of the polity, current affairs, schemes, and even the miscellaneous questions, ethics and miscellaneous questions discussions. Thank you.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Law Excellence. I am Arjun and today I am here to discuss and explain various economics questions which were asked in the UPSC CSE 2026 Prelims examination which was conducted today. Right. When we see today's prelims paper, right, we can understand that there were 13 questions from economics. Right. And I will be discussing these 13 questions from economics and it will be from Series A question paper. Right. And in Series A, economics questions were covered from question number 87 to question number 100. Now, see, out of these 13 questions, let me try to analyze the difficulty level of the questions first. Right. Out of these 13 questions, if we see these 13 questions, I can say that the difficulty level of the questions was easy to moderate. Anybody who has done who has covered concepts of economics properly and anybody who has covered current affairs properly will be able to do most of the questions. Right. See, out of these 13 questions, around 6 questions were easy. Around 4 questions were difficult and another 3 questions were moderate. So with proper conceptual clarity and current affairs, right, aspirant would be able to do most of the questions from economics. With this analysis, let us move on and discuss each question individually. Right. Let us start with question number 87. Right. An e-commerce revenue model where the seller has control over pricing but doesn't keep products in stock and instead transfers customer orders and shipment details to a third-party supplier who then ships the goods directly to the customer is called. Right. The answer for this is option A, drop shipping model. Right. So this is a question about a type of e-commerce. Right. And the correct answer is drop shipping model. See, drop shipping model is a type of e-commerce model where a seller or a retailer or a seller will fix the prices, right, and showcase the product. Once he gets the order, he will pass the order to the supplier and then the supplier will ship the product to the consumer. So here what happens is seller do not keep inventory. Right. So he sets the prices, right, and then the order is shipped by the supplier. Right. Now seller doesn't keep inventory, right? He doesn't buy the product himself. He only connects the buyer to the supplier. So he is an intermediary. So the correct answer here is option A, drop shipping model. Next, question number 88. Which one of the following correctly represents the 3 key sub-indices of Financial Inclusion Index of the Reserve Bank of India? The Financial Inclusion Index was launched by RBI in 2021. Right. This index measures financial inclusion in India in banking sector, in insurance sector, in pension sector, and in investments. So this index measures financial inclusion in our country in various sectors and it gives a score between 0 to 100. If the score is closer to 100, that means financial inclusion is higher. If the score is closer to 0, that means financial inclusion is lower. Right. Now, here in this index, financial inclusion is measured using 3 indices, that is access, usage and quality. So the correct answer is option C. Right, for question number 88, the correct answer is option C. See, this is a current affairs question, guys, because in March of 2026, this came in news. Because the overall score of FI Index of India improved from 64 to 67, showing more financial inclusion in our country. So UPSC has asked a direct question from current affairs, and the correct answer for this question is option C, access, usage and quality. So let's move on to question number 89. Right. Which one of the following best describes the key objective of India's Open Network for Digital Commerce Initiative, ONDC initiative? So see, ONDC is an initiative of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Ministry of Corporate Affairs started this initiative. Right. The initiative was launched in 2021 and operationalized in 2022. Now, what is this ONDC? See, this Open Network for Digital Commerce, it is an open source network. It is an open source network which interconnects various e-marketplaces. Right. By interconnecting various e-marketplaces, sellers can sell their product directly to the consumers without any intermediary, without any large e-market intermediary like Amazon. Right, without any large e-market intermediary, right, buyers can sell their products directly to the consumers using ONDC. Right. Hence, the correct answer for this question is option C. ONDC was launched to break the dominance of large e-commerce platforms by enabling interoperability across network. So the correct answer is option C. Now let's move on to question number 90. Which of the following statements about UPI and central bank digital currency is not correct? Be very careful. The question is asking about which is not correct or which is wrong. So this is a question about UPI and digital rupee. See guys, this question seems difficult. But if we apply our mind, right, this question actually is easy. Right. What we have to identify is what is not correct here. Right. Let us see the statement 1. UPI is real-time payment system, but digital rupee is akin to sovereign paper currency, which is correct. Digital UPI is real-time payment. We send the money, the person will get the money immediately. Real-time payment. And digital rupee is akin. Akin means similar to sovereign paper currency. Yes, digital rupee is nothing but rupee in digital form. Right. Statement 1 is correct. Or statement A is correct. Now B, in case of UPI, settlement for end users happen instantly as the money gets immediately debited or credited. But in case of digital rupee, there is no settlement as the wallet balance gets transferred to another wallet. Correct. Because in digital rupee, the transaction happens between 2 wallets. The digital rupee is transferred from one wallet to another wallet. Hence, credit and debit transaction does not happen. It is a wallet to wallet transaction. Hence, the statement is correct. Now, statement C, UPI transactions are recorded by the banks and reflected in bank statement. But in case of digital rupee, no data is captured in bank statements as transactions are from one wallet to another wallet. It is again correct because in digital rupee, the transaction happens between wallet to wallet. So in your bank statement, each and every transaction will not be recorded as credit and debit. So statement C is also correct. Now look at statement D. In both the cases, that is UPI and digital rupee, the liability lies with the users and their respective banks. This is wrong. Statement D is wrong. Right. Why is statement D wrong? Because see, as I have mentioned, digital rupee is nothing but Indian rupee, right, in digital format. So, who has the liability for Indian rupee or Indian currency? RBI has the liability. Indian rupee or Indian currency is the liability of RBI and not of individual banks. Hence, statement D is incorrect. So, the correct answer for this question is option D, because the liability of Indian currency rests with the RBI and not with respective banks. Right, like for example, Indian currency, 100 rupees of Indian currency. It is a liability of RBI. The value is maintained by RBI. Right, so the liability is with the RBI and not with the respective banks. Right, so I know many students have got confused with this, confused in this question. However, if you have applied your mind, you would realize that this is a wrong statement. So the answer for question number 90 is option D. Let's move on to question number 91. Question number 91. Which of the following statements with regard to real world asset tokenization are correct? Right. What do you mean by real world asset tokenization? See, real world asset tokenization is nothing but it converts the ownership right of real world assets into a digital format. For example, real world asset is gold. Let's say gold. Example, we'll take example of gold. Right. If you own physical gold, that is real world asset. Now, if we convert the ownership right of physical gold into a digital token, that is called as real world asset tokenization. So let us look at the statements. Tokenization is the process of turning real world assets into digital tokens using blockchain technology, which is absolutely correct. This is the definition as given by SEBI. Right. So it is correct. Now, tokenization of real world assets offer 24/7 access, promoting financial inclusion. Of course, see what happens is when your real world assets are converted into digital tokens, then you can sell, purchase these assets. Digital tokens of the assets 24/7. Right. It's not like you have to wait for the share market to open, or it is not like you have to wait for the banks to open. Because it is digitalized and because it is on blockchain, it is accessible to you through your computer or through your mobile phones 24/7. So statement 2 is also correct. Now statement 3. Tokenization of real world assets will allow the access to high growth investment opportunities for individuals in India. This statement is also correct. What do you mean by high growth investment opportunities? High growth investment opportunities means investing in very quick growing assets. For example, real estate. Right. For example, real estate. Usually, high growth investment opportunities are available for rich people, because how many people can invest in a real estate asset worth 50 crore rupees? Not many, isn't it? Usually, high growth investment opportunities are available to rich people. But in tokenization, this real world assets like real estates, they can be tokenized into online or digital format, or it can be tokenized into digital tokens, and a fraction of it can be sold. Rather than selling the whole real estate project, a fraction or a percentage of it can be sold as digital tokens. When it is sold, a fraction of it is sold as digital tokens, common individuals can also invest in high growth investment opportunities. Hence, the correct answer to this question is option A, 1, 2, 3. All the statements given are correct. Now, that is about question number 91. Next, let's see question number 92. A bond whose proceeds are used only to finance a combination of both environmental and social projects is called. This is a very straightforward question, right? The correct answer is sustainability bond. Option C, sustainability bond. Right. When you sell a sustainability bond, the money that we get from sustainability bond is used for environmental purpose and social purposes. So easy question, and the answer is option C. Question number 93. Question number 93. Right. Which of the following statements about M1 exchange's role in MSME's financing are correct? So the question is about M1 exchange. Now, what is M1 exchange? See, M1 exchange, it is a RBI approved platform. It is a RBI approved platform, digital platform. In this RBI approved digital platform, MSMEs can sell their outstanding invoices. That means there is a payment that MSMEs should get, but they have not got the payment. That is called as outstanding invoices. Right. So in this platform, MSMEs can sell their outstanding invoices to any registered financier at discounted price and get payment immediately. So M1 Exchange is a platform where the MSMEs get payment immediately by selling their outstanding invoices to registered financiers. So the correct answer for this question is B, 2 only. M1 Exchange provides collateral-based loans to MSMEs. No, M1 Exchange is not a loan providing platform, or M1 Exchange functions as a credit rating agency for MSMEs. No, it doesn't act as a credit rating agency, but M1 Exchange facilitates discounting of invoices and bill of exchange for MSMEs, which is correct. As I said, they can sell their outstanding invoices at discounted price to registered financiers and get payment immediately. So the correct answer for question number 93 is B, 2 only. Next, question number 94. Question number 94. Which one of the following best describes crowding out effect in the context of fiscal policy? This is a very conceptual, simple question. What do you mean by crowding out effect? See, crowding out effect, we read crowding out effect, especially in fiscal policy, especially with regard into fiscal deficit. When fiscal deficit of a country increases, government borrowing increases. When government borrows more and more money, interest rates in the market increases. When interest rate increases, right, private companies find it difficult to borrow. Hence, private investment reduces. This is called as crowding out effect. So, which one of the following best describes the crowding out effect in context of fiscal policy? The correct answer is option B. A situation where government borrowing leads to higher interest rate, which reduces private investment. Anybody who has done fiscal policy and has a conceptual understanding will easily get this answer correct. Right. So for question number 94, answer is option B. Next, question number 95. Which of the following statements about rare earth elements and critical minerals are correct? See, this was a very guessable question because there was so much of news about rare earth materials, rare earth minerals, and critical minerals. Also, this is an easy question, right? Where by applying your mind, we will be able to guess the correct answer. Let us see. Modern technological innovations including AI, robotics and space exploration extensively utilize rare earth materials or rare earth elements, which is absolutely correct, right? Rare earth materials and critical minerals are very important for upcoming or new technologies like AI, robotics, etc. So statement 1 is correct. Statement 2, China has the highest share in mining of RE is followed by India, which is wrong. If you have read anything about critical minerals, we will know that, right, India has shortage of rare earth materials and critical minerals. So statement 2 is wrong. The government of India launched the National Critical Mineral Mission in 2025 to establish a robust framework for self-reliance in the critical mineral sector. A direct statement from current affairs. Yes, in 2025, Government of India launched National Critical Mineral Mission. So statement 3 is also correct. Right. Now, statement 4. Rare earth elements are a set of 13 metallic elements. Wrong. Rare earth material elements are a set of 17 metallic elements. They are metallic, but the number here, they have jumbled up the number. 17 elements. So, statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is wrong, statement 3 is correct, and statement 4 is wrong. So, the correct answer is 1 and 3 only. Statement 1 and 3 are correct and statement 2 and 4 are wrong. So the correct answer for question number 95 is option A, 1 and 3 only. So now let's move on to question number 96. Now this is a difficult question. Yes, this is a current affairs peripheral question because this question deals with aviation safety. Now, because of last year, we have seen some aviation mishaps in India. Right? It is based on this, but this is a very specific question, right? Which asks very specific details. Right? Usually, I would suggest the students to skip these kind of questions. Anyways, let me give you the answer for question number 96. Which of the following statements with regarding to insurance in aviation sector are correct? Aviation hull insurance covers the physical aircraft, including the body, engine, and onboard equipment. This statement is correct. Right. See, aviation hull insurance is similar to motor vehicle insurance. It protects the physical aircraft and body, engine, and equipments, right, within the aircraft. So statement 1 is correct. Now statement 2, very specific statement. Right. Under the Montreal Convention adopted in 1999 by over 130 countries including India, airlines are strictly liable to pay compensation to the family, right, nominee of every deceased passenger without requiring the family to prove fault, which is also correct. This statement is also correct because yes, Montreal Convention was adopted in 1999 by replacing the Warsaw Convention of 1929, and India has also, right, yes, India has also adopted this Montreal Convention. So both the statements given are correct. Hence, the correct answer for question number 96 is C, both 1 and 2. That is about question number 96. Let's see question number 97. Question number 97. Which of the following statements about which of the following statements about crowdfunding are correct? Now, very simple question again, straightforward. Right? We can answer this using common sense as well. What do I mean by crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is companies collecting money from the public. Right. So basically, crowdfunding is solicitation. That means collection of funds, usually small amounts, which is correct, from multiple investors through web-based platform or social networking site for a specific project. This statement is correct. This is exactly the statement given by SEBI. This is exactly the definition given by SEBI. Right, with regarding to the definition of crowdfunding. So statement 1 is correct. Right, statement 2 says small and medium enterprises are able to raise funds at lower cost of capital without undergoing rigorous procedures. Yes, collecting money from the public through crowdfunding is easier and the processes are simpler compared to raising money through venture capitalism or through angel investment or through borrowing, because venture capitalism, angel investment, borrowing, it has many procedures. Right. Crowdfunding is simpler procedures, collecting small amount from the people who are interested in that project, and interest rates are also low. Right. Hence, statement 2 is also correct. So the correct answer for question number 97 is C, both 1 and 2. Getting this? Yes. Now let's move on to question number 98. Now, so question number 98 is a pair-based question, right? With reference to different committees in India. Consider the following details. Right. Now, this is a very factual question. It has given various committees, right? And the objective of that committees and who established that committee. Let us see. R.N. Malhotra Committee. R.N. Malhotra Committee, right? Objective is comprehensive reforms of insurance sector in India, and it was formed by IRDA. This is wrong. See, R.N. Malhotra Committee was set up in 1993 by Government of India. Right? Objective is correct. For the reforms of insurance sector, that is correct. But it was set up by Government of India, not IRDA, because IRDA did not exist in 1993. IRDA was established in 1999 on the recommendation of R.N. Malhotra Committee. So, 1 is wrong. Now, let us see 2. 1 is wrong. 2. L.C. Gupta Committee. Right, set up in 1996, right, for preparing roadmap for the introduction of derivatives trading in India, which is correct, and it was formed by SEBI, which is also correct. So 2 is correct. 3. Urjit Patel Committee of 2013. Urjit Patel Committee of 2013. Preparing a roadmap for reforming bank lending to the housing sector, which is wrong. Right. Urjit Patel Committee was set up by or formed by RBI with regarding to inflation. Urjit Patel Committee did not have anything to do with reforming bank lending to the housing sector. It dealt with inflation. It dealt with WPI, CPI. Right. It is on the basis of the recommendation of Urjit Patel Committee, right, RBI started using CPI for inflation targeting in the place of WPI. So, 3 is wrong. Now, 4. Malagam Committee, YH Malagam Committee, preparing a roadmap for reforms in microfinance sector in India, which is correct, right, and formed by RBI. Yes. Malagam Committee was set up in 2010 to look into the problems in microfinance sector. Right. This committee was set up because of various suicides happened that happened in Andhra Pradesh due to the various exuberant charges or interest charged by microfinance companies. To look into the microfinance sector in India, Malagam committee was set up by the RBI. So now here 1 is wrong, 2 is correct, 3 is wrong, and 4 is correct. So the correct answer is 2 and 4. Option D, 2 and 4. For question number 98, the correct answer is 2 and 4. Okay. Next, question number 99. Consider the following statements about non-banking finance companies in India. Again, an easy question. Right? It is about NBFCs. Let us see this. NBFCs cannot accept demand deposits. Yes, very correct. Right. Now, NBFCs, some type of NBFCs accept deposits, but they accept fixed deposits. They accept fixed deposits or term deposits. Whereas NBFCs cannot accept demand deposits, which is correct. All the NBFCs operating in India have to be registered with the RBI. No, this is wrong. There are many small NBFCs which are not registered under RBI. For example, small financier, right? Neighborhood financier, that is an NBFC, right? A small chit fund which is run by a neighborhood uncle or auntie, that is nothing but an NBFC, right? They are not registered under RBI. So statement 2 is wrong. NBFCs form a part of the payment and settlement system and can issue check drawn on itself. Wrong. NBFCs cannot issue demand instruments like checks or DDs. So statement 3 is wrong. Right. Now, deposit insurance facility of Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation is not available to the depositors of NBFCs, which is correct. Right. See, as we all know, for the deposits held in banks, DICGC gives deposit insurance up to 5 lakh rupees. But this deposit insurance is not available for NBFCs. So this statement is correct. Now, statement 2 is wrong and statement 3 is wrong. So the correct answer is option A, 1 and 4 only. That is, NBFCs cannot accept demand deposits, and no, deposits held in NBFCs do not come within the deposit insurance. Right. So answer is 1 and 4 only. Right. That is question number 99. Then question number 100. A little difficult question. Right. This question is about multidimensional poverty index. Consider the following statements about multidimensional poverty index, MPI. Right. MPI is calculated using Alkire-Foster methodology, which is correct. A little deeper. Right. See, multidimensional poverty index is measured using methodology developed by Sabina Alkire and James Foster. This Alkire-Foster methodology, it measures poverty not from one dimension but from many dimensions. Right. This methodology measures poverty by looking into various problems faced by people in different dimensions or different criteria. It looks at different deprivations of the people. So statement 1 is correct. MPI calculated by Niti Aayog has a total of 12 indicators. Very, very correct. Right. See, MPI, right, developed by UNDP. MPI developed by UNDP and Oxford University. It has 10 criteria, 10 sub-criteria, but MPI developed by Niti Aayog has 12 criteria, 2 additional criteria. So statement 2 is also correct. Maternal health and bank account are common indicators in the MPI of Niti Aayog and MPI of UNDP, which is wrong. If you see this figure that I have given, this is the 3 main criteria and sub-criteria used in MPI by UNDP. Right. So UNDP uses 10 sub-criterias. Right. Whereas Niti Aayog uses 12 criteria, and maternal health and bank account are 2 additional criteria which are used by Niti Aayog and not by UNDP. So statement 3 is wrong. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct, and statement 3 is wrong. So the correct answer is option A, 1 and 2 only. The correct answer for question number 100 is 1 and 2 only. Right. With this, I'm concluding the session. I hope the session was helpful for you guys. Right. If I have to tell you, this year's paper was comparatively difficult. Prelims paper was difficult. There was very factual questions, very deep questions. Right, and many type of questions asked last year has not been asked this year. For example, assertion and reasoning questions have not been asked. So the overall question paper this year is on the difficult side. So I personally think that the cutoff will be below 85. Right. So the cutoff will be below 85. So if you have done well, if you have done moderately well, and if you are scoring anything above 85, please be sure of clearing prelims and start your preparation for mains. Right. The paper was difficult and the cutoff is gonna come down. Right. It will be below 85 is my personal prediction. It will be lesser than 85. Okay, so if you have done moderately well in the prelims, do not waste time. Please start preparing for your mains examination. With that, I wish you all the best for your future. Thank you. Good night.
Hello everyone, welcome to Law Excellence. So today we are going through today's question paper UPSC Prelims 2026. So my name is Vivekanand. Here I am discussing science and technology questions from this question paper. So question papers, when I analyzed the question paper, I understood that questions are in the range of medium to difficult category, most of the questions, even though some of the questions fit into the easy category. But someone with minimum understanding of some of the essential topics in science and technology can definitely make intelligent guesses and can score high from this subject. So there are around 12 to 13 questions from science and technology this time, so which will definitely play an important role, will play the role of that marks booster in case if you do not perform well in your core subjects. So science and technology has been playing very important role in your UPSC prelims that can be witnessed from here. So let us, without any delay, let me go through the questions and give you the proper understanding and the analysis of this. So the first question here is, which of the following statements about Dhruv 64 is or are correct? So the statements are, it is the third chip fabricated under DIRV program with an overall aim to enable the creation of microprocessors for India. Second statement, it is India's first homegrown 1 GHz and 64-bit dual-core microprocessor. This topic has been in news for various reasons, and most importantly, India is trying to gain that self-sufficiency in the production of semiconductors and microprocessors. For that, India has already launched this program called DIRV program, which is Digital India RISC-V program. Okay, under that, India wants to build semiconductors and microprocessors indigenously. So, under this program, the statement is telling Dhruv 64 is the third chip that has been microprocessor that has been built indigenously in India, and this statement is correct. Already 2 microprocessors have been built under this program. They were something called the JAS 32 and the JAS 64. these chips were already in use, especially this 64-bit, India's first 64-bit microprocessor was already in use, and later this has become in use. This has come is news because of its capacity, that is 1 gigahertz and 64-bit dual core microprocessor. So the statement is very plain. It is the third chip fabricated under DRV program with overall aim to enable the creation of microprocessors in India. So the statement is plain, anybody can easily guess it provided you have read it once at least. Without that it is difficult to make or speculate about it. And here also you need to have a proper understanding, otherwise it is difficult to answer this. I put this question in medium to difficult category. Definitely it's not an easy question. Only if you have understood, only if you have read it at least once, you can solve this. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Second question is on genetic medicines. So genetic medicine, this question you see, you can put it under easy to moderate category because you can easily guess this. Let us go through this. Genetic medicines correct or compensate for the faulty genes responsible for the diseases. So it's a plain statement. Anybody who has minimum understanding in this genetic medicine or genetic engineer can solve this question, because genetic medicines are those medicines which definitely deal with the genes. So they compensate or correct the faulty genes. So that is what all is about genetic engineering. Hence the statement must be correct statement with respect to genetic medicines. Engineered viruses and lipid nanoparticles are used as carriers of the genetic medicine. Okay, so viruses and lipid nanoparticles are used as carriers of the genetic medicine. Here many people might be confused, but the statement is correct. Reason being, mRNA vaccines are also part of genetic medicines. mRNA vaccines, especially which were used during COVID-19, they used to be delivered using lipid nanoparticles. And even viruses can also be used, especially adenoviruses, which are not harmful, that much harmful. So they can be used as vectors to deliver genetic medicines to cells. Okay, so hence engineered viruses and lipid nanoparticles can be used as carriers of genetic medicines. So hence second statement is also correct statement. So genetic medicines alter the entire DNA sequence. Okay, anybody with minimum understanding of genome is that entire DNA sequence in human cell. Okay, so that entire genome sequence contains around 3 billion base pairs. Okay, so can that entire DNA be modified using genetic medicines? Okay, so this is extreme statement. It cannot be easily made. Hence the option third or the statement 3 must be definitely wrong, because entire DNA sequence cannot be altered. So if you eliminate 3, you are left with first and A and C. Definitely A must be correct. A must be correct. So all it depends on statement 2. Statement 2, I am telling you, for example, mRNA vaccines which are part of genetic medicines, okay, where viruses and lipid nanoparticles are used. Hence, answer for this should be C. Answer for this should be C. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Which of the following statements with regard to large language models used in machine learning is or are correct? You know, artificial intelligence has been in use. Artificial intelligence and associated concepts like machine learning, deep learning, and this LLMs, large language models, they were pretty much in use and is an expected topic. It's an expected topic. Hence I would put this question in the category of easy to moderate, because this is an expected topic. Large language models, they're fundamental to working of these our Google, Gemini, ChatGPT and other generative AI, which are pretty much in use. Okay, so for that reason I'm putting this question in the category of easy to moderate. So let's go through the question. The question reads like this: LLMs assign probabilities. Large language models assign probabilities to the next possible words and then pick the one with the highest probability. Okay, So LLMs process data through mathematical optimization to minimize prediction errors. LLMs produced unbiased outputs. Unbiased outputs. Before analyzing statement 192, the third statement, anybody can easily eliminate this. This should be wrong, because LLMs, the basics of LLMs is that LLMs works on the large amount of data that it extracts from internet, isn't it? LLMs work on the large amount of data that is extracting from internet. So the data is coming from internet, and in the internet the data is given by human beings. So human beings come from different cultural background, different social backgrounds, hence the data must be already biased. The prejudices must already be there. Hence LLMs, as the basic source data itself is biased, they also cannot completely produce unbiased outputs. Hence the statement must be wrong. This is an extreme statement. 3 you can easily eliminate. You will be left with 1 and 192, A and B. Okay, so hence the chances and probability of you answering questions goes by 50%, right? As you have already eliminated C and D with these 3. So with little technical knowledge you can also solve these 2. You can also arrive at the answer. So LLMs assign probabilities to the next possible words and then pick up the one with highest probability. Okay, if you understand this, it's a type of deep learning where large amount of data is fed to the machine. Then the machine learns through this enormous amount of data. It learns through the text data, and it predicts by utilizing the previous text, by understanding the context, it always expects the next word or next sentence in the sequence. So LLMs assign probabilities to the next possible words. Okay, so hence the statement is correct. The first statement is correct. Okay, LLMs process data through mathematical optimization. Here focus on the phrase mathematical optimization. Optimization is the process where the machines repeatedly make mistakes and learn through the mistakes. Okay, in LLMs the machine assigns different values to different words depending upon the context. So if the context changes, if it does the mistakes, it will learn through the mistakes. That is called optimization process, mathematical optimization process. So LLM process data through mathematical optimization. This is correct, to minimize prediction errors. So to understand, analyze these 2 statements, you need to have little technical knowledge about LLMs. Okay, so here because of these 2 statements, I put this question in the category of moderate level, but the third statement you can easily eliminate. Here little amount of technical understanding is required. Okay, hence first statement and second statements are correct. Hence answer must be B. Okay, next. Question number 4. Question number 4 says, which of the following statements with regard to stealth technologies are correct? Stealth technology from defense is an expected topic, because many aircrafts, missiles we are developing and we have imported. Okay, S-400, BrahMos, and our upcoming aircrafts, they are being built upon stealth technology. Okay, stealth technology is that technology is a specific design used in aircrafts, missiles, UAVs, etc., where it would make the enemy radar and sensars very difficult to detect them. Okay, the design of these weapons are made in such a way that it becomes nearly impossible or nearly very difficult for the enemy radars to detect them. Okay, so this has been in news for a very long time. Okay, hence an expected topic. Nobody should be shocked with this question with respect to stealth technology. Okay, stealth objects like aircrafts, missiles, etc. have a very small radar cross section and are coated with radar absorbing material. So understand the basics and essential meaning of stealth technology. Stealth technology itself means not to get detected by enemy radars, right? So if you understand the essential and essential objective of stealth technology, you can easily judge this statement. Stealth objects have a very small radar cross section. They must have small radar cross sections, so that the chances of their detection becomes minimal. So they have very small radar cross section and they're coated with radar absorbing material. So if any material is there which is absorbing radar or the radio waves, it becomes very difficult for the enemy radar to detect it. Hence the statement 1 is exactly syncing with our understanding of stealth technology. Even if you don't understand the exact technical features of the stealth technology, you can easily arrive at the answer by guessing, intelligently guessing. How? Stealth objects have very small radar cross section. They must have small radar cross section so that they do not get detected by radars, and they're coated with radar absorbing materials. Okay, that means they're not reflecting back the radio waves. Yes, the statement becomes correct. Stealth objects can be detected using specific frequencies. Stealth objects can be detected using specific frequencies. So to understand, to arrive at the answer, just try to reverse it and see. Stealth objects can be detected using specific frequencies. Can they not be detected entirely in any frequencies? Okay, that becomes an extremely hard statement. Okay, I don't think there is any such aircraft or missile in the world, in any country, which is impossible to be detected. Okay, impossibility word cannot be there. Stealth technology means not to make the object completely impossible to be detected, but make it very difficult for the enemy radar. Okay, so nearly impossible can also be fine, but impossibility, whenever the concept, whenever the question comes about impossibility, you need to think twice. So stealth objects can be detected using specific frequencies. Can be. Okay, yes. So by guessing also we can arrive at the understanding this is a wrong statement. Sorry. So this is a right statement. This must be a right statement. Stealth objects can be detected using some specific sequences. Technically, if I have to mention it, if I have to clarify it, they use high wavelength radiations or low frequency radiations. With high wavelength radiations, the aircrafts and missiles can be detected. Okay, under certain frequencies, under certain low frequencies, and the statement is correct. And third statement, stealth objects are coated with metamaterials to increase the scattering of electromagnetic radiation. So read it properly, to increase the scattering of electromagnetic radiations. Okay, see, overall fundamental objective of stealth is not to get detected and not to the detection is by scattering of the radiations. So stealth technology, if it should be there, it should not scatter. If there is scattering of radiations, then it becomes very easy for the detection of the aircrafts or missiles, isn't it? Hence it should be reverse. Stealth objects are coated with metamaterials to increase the scattering of electromagnetic radiation should be observed. This is wrong. Okay, with understanding of stealth technology we can easily arrive at the answer. Okay, hence this should be a wrong statement, because why to increase the scattering of electromagnetic radiation, isn't it? Yes, hence statement 1 and 2 are correct and third one must be wrong. Okay, so even otherwise you can see here, when statement 3 is wrong, you can easily eliminate these two, and first statement becomes right, and only your entire answer rests upon statement number 2. Stealth objects can be detected using specific frequencies. Here also with understanding, with the understanding that impossibility of detection is not possible, with that understanding you can understand that the second statement becomes right. Hence answer should be 1 and 2, hence it should be C. Okay. So I'm telling you, this exam is more about how effectively you can think under those pressure conditions. Okay, so it's even if you have minimum understanding of stealth technology, it is very much solvable. Okay, next question. Which of the following statements with regard to black boxes used in modern aircrafts? So here UPSC is testing whether you are aware, whether you have that common understanding and common general awareness about different science and technology issues and concepts or not. UPSC wants to test that. You know that Ahmedabad air crash last year, which is very much in news. At that time, black boxes were commonly talked about topic. Right, so UPSC is testing you whether you are aware of the general technical features of black boxes or not. Yes, hence an expected question. It's also an expected question. Okay, let's see. Let's go through the statements. First statement says they carry a beacon emitting red light pulses to facilitate underwater detection. So this is this you have to put yourself into hypothetical situation where the aircraft that has crashed went into the water, let's say oceans or rivers. Okay, so when it enters the oceans or into the water, the black box, the black box emit red light pulses. That is what the statement is saying. They carry a beacon emitting red light pulses to facilitate underwater detection. So black boxes detection is very important, because even if entire aircraft crashes, black boxes need to be detected. Okay, for the detection to become easier in underwater, they use red light pulses. This is what the statement is saying. Okay, they record both the cockpit voice and flight data. They record both cockpit voice as well as the flight data. Third statement, their memory units are made using either stainless steel or titanium. Their memory units are made using either stainless steel or titanium. Let's analyze these statements quickly. Let's see here. They carry a beacon emitting red light pulses to facilitate underwater detection. Okay, so this is a wrong statement basically, because it uses sound waves. It uses sound waves for detection. When aircraft has crashed underwater, when we need to find the black box, it produces sound pulses. Okay, because the distance traveled by sound in waters is more than these red pulses or lights. Okay, because when aircraft crashes, it become a muddy water. Right, in muddy water sound travels more than the light. Okay, if you have this understanding, you can guess this. You can make a guess, even though it's not entirely easy to guess it, but if you have this little understanding how light and sound travel in underwater, you can easily solve this if you have that understanding. Okay, sound waves travel longer distances. Sound waves travel longer distances underwater. Okay, based on that you can eliminate this. They use sound waves. And second statement, they record both cockpit voice as well as flight data. Okay, so hopefully many people can guess it right, because these black boxes, they record the audio data as well as the flight data. Flight data include the speed of the aeroplane and the altitude of the aeroplane, and such technical data also it will record. Okay, yes, the second statement is right. Their memory units are made using either stainless steel or titanium. Stainless steel and titanium are hard metals. They do not get destroyed even during the crash. Okay, so with that understanding you can say that stainless steel and titanium might be used. Your guess would be right. Okay, they use stainless steel and titanium because black box are built only to survive even after the crash. This is the only thing that can survive even under extreme crashes. Okay, hence the third statement must be right. You can even guess this, because stainless steel and titanium are very hard materials, they will survive. So memory units are made using that. Hence 2 and 3 are correct. When 2 and 3 are correct, the answer must be 2 and 3. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Next question. Consider the following statements. Which of the following statements with regard to green hydrogen is or are correct with respect to green hydrogen? So this UPSC has been focusing on this topic repeatedly. There were some questions about this in previous years also. So it has been part of the UPSC trend. Hence it becomes an easy or moderate question only, because it is not an unexpected topic. And statement, let's see, D, green hydrogen, it's a decarbonized hydrogen, fine, obtained from natural gas reforming combined with carbon capture and storage. Okay, so is green hydrogen obtained from natural gas? No. Green hydrogen is that hydrogen which has been obtained from electrolysis of water. Okay, from water we extract, from electrolysis of water we extract hydrogen. That is green hydrogen. So from natural gas we either extract grey hydrogen or blue hydrogen. Okay, that hydrogen becomes grey hydrogen when we extract it from natural gas, and in the process carbon dioxide is emitted. That carbon dioxide is emitted to open atmosphere in grey hydrogen. In blue hydrogen is almost like grey hydrogen, only difference is the emitted carbon dioxide is captured and stored. So this carbon capture and storage, so this explanation perfectly suits for blue hydrogen and not for green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is that hydrogen which is extracted from electrolysis of water. So let's continue. It is produced using electrolysis of water. As I already told you, yes, green hydrogen is produced from electrolysis of water with electricity generated by renewable energy. It is produced from electrolysis of water, and for the electrolysis process, whatever the energy requirement is there, that is met by renewable energies like solar energy and wind energy. Hence this statement is correct. Okay, so that is why it is called green hydrogen. Yes, correct. So second statement is correct. National Green Hydrogen Mission. Okay, so this is a very important mission, flagship mission India has launched to make India a global leader in the production of green hydrogen. Okay, National Green Hydrogen Mission of India aims for abatement of nearly 50 MMT of annual greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Okay, so under this mission India wants to abate or reduce nearly 50 MMT of annual greenhouse gases emissions by 2030. It is a factual statement. You have to have read it, otherwise you can't guess this statement. Yes, this 50 MMT is correct. 50 MMT is correct. Okay, in the same mission there is also a target of producing 5 MMT green hydrogen by 2030. Okay, so that is the capacity we want to achieve, okay, annually to produce green hydrogen. Okay, that is another data. You might get confused with this 50 MMT. This 50 MMT is abatement of or reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, so hence this statement is correct statement. So 2 and 3 are correct. So 2 and 3 are correct, and the first one is wrong. Hence the answer should be B. Answer should be B. Seventh question. Consider the following statements with regard to involvement of private entities in India's space program. Again an expected topic. Okay, so globally as well in India especially, government is pushing for privatization of space, okay, or the space ecosystem. The statements are: the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center InSpace is an autonomous agency formed to facilitate participation of private entities. Expected topic, yes, it is very much in use, hence it's a correct statement. Okay, it's an autonomous agency under Department of Biotechnology which is formed to facilitate participation of private entities. It will do that hand-holding work to the private entities. It will provide that linkage between ISRO, okay, the expertise of ISRO and the private entities. It will be that interface between private players and the ISRO. Yes, and it's an autonomous agency formed to facilitate participation of private entity in space. Yes, correct. Agnikul Cosmos launched the world's first flight. So these are like Skyroot Aerospace and Agnikul Cosmos. These two are very important, private companies, leading private companies who are participating in space programs and in space technology. Yes, so that's why the question has been asked on this. As privatization in news, UPSC wants you to understand, it is expecting that whether you know which important private space agencies are working in India. Okay, so Agnikul Cosmos is a private space company which is incubating under IIT Madras. Okay, IIT Madras. And it has launched world's first flight using 3D printed rocket engine. Okay, this Agnikul, it has its own private launch pad. This is the first company which has its own private launch pad in Sriharikota. Okay, so it has launched the world's first flight using 3D printed rocket engine. This was in current affairs expected, hence the statement is correct. Okay, and Skyroot Aerospace has developed liquid fuel for GSLV. Skyroot Aerospace is another space agency. Yes, it has developed liquid fuel and a liquid fuel engine called Dhawan 1. It is called Dhawan 1. Okay. Yes, it is correct. But has it developed it for GSLV? You can guess it. GSLV is ISRO's. Okay, ISRO's launch vehicle. Okay, is it that ISRO is dependent on this private agency for the this liquid engine? Okay, can you guess like that? It is wrong, isn't it? Why would ISRO be dependent on a private agency which is a new company? And the statement, even by plain reading, if you think a little, if you apply little logic, it becomes a wrong statement. It becomes a wrong statement. You can guess it here. You can easily eliminate option 3. You can easily eliminate the statement 3. When you eliminate 3, you are left with 1. 1 must be right. So entirely depends on 2. Agnikul Cosmos launched world's first. If you have read current affairs, definitely you can click, tick mark this. The answer must be 192. Answer must be 192. Okay. Yes, let's move ahead. Let's go to the next question. Which of the following statement with regard to drone swarms are correct? Okay, drone swarms, these UAVs again are in news. Hence, okay, current affairs in current affairs this has been one of the important topics. Which of the following statement with regard to drone swarms are correct? Drone swarms. What is drone swarms? You need to understand. In fact, drone swarms is that network of drones or UAVs working together coherently to perform some complex task. Okay, so drone swarm is correct. If you understand this, you can easily guess this. They use terahertz band of frequency to communicate with the command center. They use terahertz band of frequency. Second statement, individual drones in the swarm can communicate with other drones in the swarm. GPS spoofing is commonly used technique to counter drone swarm attack. So second statement, see, individual drones in the swarm can communicate with other drones in the swarm. That is what the concept of drone swarming. If you understand the basics of drone swarming, definitely 2 must be correct. 2 you cannot eliminate. 2 must be correct, isn't it? Hence the 2 must be correct. You can eliminate this statement 1, and also when you eliminate wherever there is not 2, you can easily eliminate that. So 2 is not here, you can eliminate this 2. 2 is not here, hence you can eliminate this option 1. Option 1 you can eliminate. Answer must be within these 3. Okay, let's move ahead. So second statement is correct. That is what the concept of drone swarming is. Third statement, GPS spoofing is a commonly used technique to counter drone swarm attack. GPS spoofing is, it's a technique where the enemy radars can send the location details or some location details which is naturally wrong. Okay, so most of these drone swarms and any drones use GPS. Okay, so by using enemy radars, if you send the wrong data to these UAVs, then their entire mission can be failed. So GPS spoofing is a commonly used technique that is commonly used to counter drone swarm attacks, and this is much easier. This is much easier compared to jamming. In jamming, they destroy the UAVs, but in spoofing they send wrong data to the wrong location data to the UAVs. Hence, the statement is correct. GPS spoofing is also one of the techniques they use. What about the first statement? They use terahertz band of frequency to communicate with the command center. Terahertz band of frequency, if you have a little knowledge about this, you should know that terahertz band of frequency is an advanced band of frequency that is being tested in UAVs. That is fine, but that is commonly not used because teraband frequency cannot easily travel in atmosphere. There is lot of disturbance in the atmosphere, like moisture present in the atmosphere. That moisture causes lot of disturbances to the movement of these frequencies, terahertz frequencies. Terahertz frequency is generally used in inspections, like as part of this airport security and other security, when inspecting to find out any harmful weapons, terahertz band frequency is used, and in that conveyor belt to detect any harmful weapons in your bags for security checks. This terahertz band frequency is generally used. Okay, so this terahertz band frequency is difficult to be used in UAVs because they cannot travel long distances. Hence, the statement must be wrong. So the answer must be 2 and 3. Answer must be 2 and 3. Okay, so let's move ahead. Next question, 9th question. Which of the following statements with regard to Genome India project? Genome India project, again from biotechnology. Questions are coming. Every year you would expect such questions from biotechnology. Genome India project is very much in use. That has been launched in 2022. Many genome genome sequencing projects. Genome sequencing is an important and advanced topic in biotechnology. Questions are definitely coming from that section. That's very much in use and expected topic. Hence, I would put this in easy category. Genome India project is part of Human Genome Project. Human Genome Project is an old project, global project that was launched in 1990 and it was discontinued in 2003. Okay, so Human Genome Project is the first great project which has sequenced the DNA, entire DNA for the first time. It already was discontinued in 2003. That's a global project. Hence, Genome India project is a new project. With the minimum understanding, you can eliminate this first statement. Correct. So when you eliminate this first statement, see, you can naturally come and arrive at this answer, option B. Right? So the project is funded by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. Yes, this project is actually led by Brain Research Institute, IISc Bengaluru, but it is funded and directed by Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology. Hence, this statement 2 is correct. Its primary aim is to build a catalog of genetic diversity of Indian population. Yes, that is what the purpose of Human Genome Project. It is selecting around 10,000 individuals for this. Okay, so it is building it is making this genome sequencing of this 10,000 Indians who are hailing from different races and different ethnicities, right? So its primary aim is to build a list of or catalog of genetic diversity of Indian population. Hence, this is correct. Okay, so this is a very easy question. Anybody with the minimum reading in biotechnology could have solved it. So which of the following statement with respect to National Quantum Mission? So quantum technology is very much in use. National Quantum Mission, India's flagship mission, launched by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, which has launched in 2023. It's also in use. Expected topic. Okay, so none of these topics are complete bouncers. You can see all these questions are expected. Maybe some of these statements are difficult, but if you have read, if you have made a minimum reading in science and technology without ignoring, you can, combined with your intelligent guessing, definitely you could have solved most of these questions. Okay, so see, National Quantum Mission is also expected topic. So if you go through the National Quantum Mission, this is something which you will definitely come across. Okay, 52,000. Without reading, you can't guess it. You must have read current affairs for this. So it aims at developing intermediate scale quantum computers with 50 to 1000 physical qubits. This is correct. Its implementation includes setting up of 4 thematic hubs, academics and national R&D institutes, especially in IITs. 4 thematic hubs are being built in IIT, Mumbai, Madras, etc. Okay, 4 themes include computing. This national quantum mission has these 4 themes: computing, and number 1 is sensors. It also includes sensors and metrology. Number 1 computing, number 2 sensors and metrology, and also it includes another 2. You can go through that. I'm currently not able to recall another 2. So anyways, there are 4 thematic hubs. You can go through that. So hence the second statement is correct and first statement is also correct. Next, consider the following statements about Mission Sudarshana Chakra of India, which has been declared by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Yes, so that is why it was in news. Popularly it was circulating. Mission Sudarshana Chakra. It aims to enhance India's air defense. Yes, ballistic missiles defense and aerial offensive capabilities. So this mission wants to make India a powerful defense country. Okay, with this multi-layered defense strategy. Okay, so this multi-layered defense strategy include air defense as well as defense against ballistic missiles. It also includes aerial offensive capabilities, targeting enemy installations in enemy countries. Okay, so the statement is correct. It aims to enhance India's air defense, ballistic missile defense and aerial offensive capabilities. Second statement, this aim is being designed to enhance rapid, precise and powerful defense responses, reinforcing India's strategic autonomy. Yes, it wants to reinforce India's strategic autonomy because most of these weapons used in air defense, missiles used in air defense, okay, India is producing indigenously, or India has a goal to produce indigenously. So it wants to preserve that strategic autonomy through this. Okay, so which also includes providing national security. So mission is being designed to enhance rapid, precise, powerful defense responses and reinforcing India's strategic autonomy. A plain statement, it cannot be wrong. Anybody would say it's right with minimal understanding. One of the aims of this mission is to cover all public places of India when expanded nationwide security shield by 2025. Once you go through Mission Sudarshana Chakra, that had been highlighted. This is the highlight point, okay, of Mission Sudarshan Chakra. Okay, the ultimate goal is by 2035 provide that nationwide security shield covering all public places. Here one statement, one part of this can be questionable, that is all public places. This can be questioned, all public places. Can it include all public places? Even though it looks extreme, this is what actually has been branded as part of Mission Sudarshana Chakra. Okay, most of the important places and strategic places, even the public places, civilian places, are safeguarded under Sudarshana Chakra mission. Hence the statement overall, I would say it would be right, even though some part of it is a little bit questionable, because that is what has been actually has been branded as part of this Mission Sudarshana Chakra. Okay, and the year 2035 is correct. Hence all the statements are correct here. So all statements, in the sense, the answer must be A, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, let's proceed further. Which of the following items of defense hardware is or are manufactured in India? Which of the following items of defense hardware is or are manufactured in India? So Sukhoi 30, T-90 Mk3 tanks and Akula class submarines. Okay, Sukhoi 30, which is the most important aircraft okay, in India, most advanced aircraft India has, okay. Its design is from Russia, but it is jointly developed by India and Russia, and the manufacturing facility is in India, okay. So HAL produces it in its Nasik production facility. It's a 4.5 a 2-engine aircraft, so which is okay, and a UPSC aspirant studying defense must have gone through this at least once. So this is correct that India produces its hardware manufactured in India. Yes, T90 Mk3 tanks, okay. So this is also correct. It is also produced and manufactured in India, even though its design is from Russia, same like Sukhoi 30. So these tanks are also produced in India, even though designs are from Russia. Akula class submarines are actually, if you have read Akula class, which is an important SSN, which is nuclear powered warship. It's a nuclear powered warship. Definitely it is related to Russia, because we are leasing it from Russia, and here we have leased it from Russia, so we have taken it on lease. So we are not manufacturing Akula submarines, okay. It's an important SSN, nuclear powered submarine in India. So India is not manufacturing it, but India has taken it from Russia as lease. So 192 are correct, 192 are correct, and third one is wrong, because Akula class submarines are not manufactured here. And the last question here is, which of the following statements regarding the features of blockchain technology are true? Okay, so blockchain technology, again expected topic. If you understand the basic essential features of blockchain technology, like blockchain technology it works on the principle of immutability. It's a decentralized and distributed ledger. Okay, so some of these basic understandings of blockchain technology combined with little technical knowledge, with that you can solve this question. Let's go through this. Let's see what the statements are reading. Records stored in the database may be made visible to relevant stakeholders without risk of alteration. So you know that blockchain works on the principle of immutability. Blockchain works on the principle of immutability. That means once the data is recorded and put in the block, it can never be altered. Yes, so but it's a distributive ledger. That means it can be distributed among all the stakeholders, all the participants, but once recorded, no alteration can be made by anyone. Hence the statement is correct. Basic understanding of blockchain technology. Yes. Second statement, copies of the entire database are stored on multiple computers on a network, syncing within seconds. Yes. So the copies or the data in blockchain are distributed among all the nodes, all the computers in the network. Okay, but nobody can alter it, and any additions to that will be updated within seconds. Yes, the statement is correct. It is a transparent system. It works on the principle of distributive ledger. That is why the statement becomes correct. Copies of entire database are stored on multiple computers. Yes, and it syncing within the seconds. It doesn't take more time. Within seconds, the data get updated. Okay, across the computers. Okay, consortium blockchain is a blend of public and private blockchains allowing selective data access. Okay, so there are different types of blockchains: private blockchain, public blockchain, hybrid blockchain, and consortium. Okay, so hybrid blockchain, you might get confused between hybrid and consortium. Hybrid involves the features of private as well as public. Okay, that means some of the data can be publicly accessed and some of the data can be accessed with private authority. Okay, so without that private authorization, private data cannot be cannot be accessed. In hybrid model, it involves features of both private as well as public. But this is consortium blockchain. Consortium blockchain is almost like private blockchain, but it does not involve only single company. It may be there may be group of companies with their limited access and limited membership. Only they can access to the data. Okay, so that is consortium blockchain. So it is I understand that consortium blockchain can be confused with hybrid, but don't get confused. This is consortium. It is almost like private blockchain, but instead of one company, it involves multiple companies. That is the meaning of consortium blockchain, and this explanation is for hybrid blockchain, which blends public and private blockchains, allowing selective data access. Yes, hence consortium blockchain is wrong. Mathematical algorithms make it impossible to change or delete any data once recorded and accepted. Here the term is impossible. Is it that extreme that data cannot be altered in using blockchain? Once you record it, can't you alter it in any way? Is it impossible? The answer is yes. It is impossible because it uses highly complex algorithmic encryption techniques like something called hashing, okay, which has a specific numbering, okay, and it also uses consensus methodologies, okay, for verifications of the blocks. So it's highly encrypted data, hence cannot be altered. Hence the statement must be right. Yes, mathematical algorithms make impossible to change or delete any data once recorded and accepted. So now the answer for this must be so first statement is correct, second is correct, third one is wrong, and fourth one is right. Hence it should be 1, 2 and 4. 1, 2 and 4, yes, option C. Okay, so this is all about the analysis of science and technology questions from Prelims 2026. Hope all of you have enjoyed it. All of you got insights about the questions and the trend. Hope all of you understood the trend of these questions as they have been asking, and you have understood that none of these questions were completely unexpected. They were all from expected topics, just that I understand that a little depth and some of the additions have been made in the expected topics. So I am directly starting with the questions from IR and mapping sections. Okay, so the first question here from mapping and IR section is related to a volcano called Tungurahua or Tungurahua volcano, which was declared a global geopark by UNESCO in 2025. So Tungurahua volcano was declared as a global geopark by UNESCO in 2025. It is for this reason it is in news. Okay, you need to tell in which country it is situated among the following countries. Okay, so 4 countries, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Colombia had been given. So this volcano is in news because of this reason. Otherwise it was erupted last in 2016, thereafter it did not erupt. It is in news only because of this. If you had gone through that current affairs, this is going to be easy question for you because it would save a lot of time of yours in the exam. You just need to select one among the 4. All these countries are close countries located in same region, that is South American region, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia and Colombia. If you don't know this, it's difficult to guess otherwise, isn't it? But still there is one important hint you can take out of this is Ecuador is a country where some of the important volcanic peaks are situated. For example, let's say Mount Chimborazo and Mount Cotopaxi, right? These are 2 important stratovolcanoes that are present in South America. Okay, so for that reason there is a little scope to guess Ecuador, otherwise there is no other way to guess it. You must have had understanding about it, you need to know it. So answer for this is okay. ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇರಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ, ಇವಾಗ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Hello everyone, I am Vivekanand. Welcome to Law Excellence 2026 UPSC Civil Service Preliminary Exam Question Paper Analysis. I am taking up this subject mapping and IR, where I am be picking up all the questions from 2026 this year's prelims questions on mapping and IR, and I am going to discuss each of them. And let's see at what level the questions are and how could we have thought about it. And this is also going to help you in your next year preparations and to learn from your mistakes. Okay, so let us start with the question number 1 on mapping and IR section. So the first question here is Tungurahua volcano, which was declared as global geopark by UNESCO in 2025, is situated in which one of the following countries? That is the question. Okay, so this volcano is in news only because of this. Okay, otherwise it does not have any recent eruption history. Recent in the sense past few years. I think it was last erupted in 2016. Okay, so it is not in news because of its recent eruption, which generally UPSC tend to ask, like we would be studying on that manner, recent eruptions, and we would list out the volcanoes and we'll prepare for exams in that way. But this is in news mainly because it had been declared as a global geopark by UNESCO in 2025. Okay, so if you have gone through the current affairs, then you can guess the answer, right? Otherwise, I mean, if you have gone through the current affairs and read somewhere you can pick up any of these 4 countries. Otherwise, it is not an easy guess because most of them are South American countries. That means most are situated in similar regions, okay, or in the same region. And among all these countries, Andes Mountains passes through, which is part of Pacific Ring of Fire, right? So otherwise, it's not an easy guess. One way to guess it is you can somewhere get this hint that Ecuador is a country where some of the important volcanic peaks are situated. Like for example, Mount Chimborazo and Mount Cotopaxi, they are situated in Ecuador. In that way, you can connect Tungurahua might also be in Ecuador. Otherwise, that's not an easy guess, isn't it? Yeah. So answer for this is Ecuador. Okay, straight away it's part of Andes. It's a stratovolcano. And it is located in Ecuador. So answer for Tungurahua volcano is it's Ecuador. Okay, let's move ahead to the second question. Second question, which of the following statements with reference to Lake Turkana is or are correct? Okay, so it is the largest desert lake in the world. Lake is situated South Sudan along the eastern fringe of Sahara Desert, and the lake is listed as UNESCO World Heritage Site and is also referred to as Jade Sea. So Lake Turkana is an expected question. I don't call this as a difficult question. I would put this in the category of easy to moderate level of questions because Lake Turkana is almost on the expected lines. Okay, you know, UPSC has a trend of asking questions on lakes or any water bodies which are under threat. Like in the past, in 2018 or 19, it had asked a question on RLC, which is drying up. And also there is this question on Lake Fagubine, which was asked in 2023, which is also drying up. So it's on the similar trend. Lake Turkana is like easy reading for anybody who is studying mapping on Africa. Definitely he would have come across Lake Turkana. Okay, so here by reading Lake Turkana directly, one thing you can guess it, you can see it that it is in Kenya. Okay, it's in Kenya, and some part of it is extending into Ethiopia also, right? So hence it is not in South Sudan. It is definitely not in South Sudan. So you can eliminate this second option very easily. When you eliminate second option, easily you can eliminate these two. So one must be correct. One must be correct in that sense. Yes, it is the largest desert lake in the world. But understanding the simple location, which anyway anybody would do, whoever have practiced simple mapping on Africa, definitely would understand it's in Kenya. Okay, so hence South Sudan is wrong. When you eliminate this, one must be correct. So now all goes down to these three. Okay, here if you know a little bit about Lake Turkana, definitely you will understand that. If you have read this, you would understand that it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yes, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is referred to as Jade Sea. Okay, it looks turquoise greenish in color. Okay, with as a lot of harmful algal bloom has happened over this lake because of this excessive algal growth. It looks turquoise green, and it is mainly for that reason. Okay, you can say it is locally referred to as Jade Sea. Okay, this term is also popular. Answer for this should be 193. Okay, for as you can easily eliminate 2 and you can come as you can narrow down your options to A and B, I would put this into easy to moderate level of question. Okay, so next question. So there is this question on Interpol notices and the descriptions about them. Interpol notices and the description about them. The silver notice, blue notice, black notice, green notice. These are the different types of Interpol notices. Anyway, in basic parts also you would be reading about it. Okay, except silver notice. Silver notice is in current affairs. That is why it is in news. Maybe that is why they have asked all of this question. Silver notice is a new notice that has been introduced in Interpol. Okay, so if you have gone through current affairs, you would link that silver notice is related to identify and trace criminal assets. So this is issued, this silver notice is issued to identify and trace criminal assets, especially this is related to money laundering. Okay, so this is in current affairs. You can link A with 4, and also you can link black notice with to seek information on unidentified bodies. Even if you haven't had read it properly, even if you don't remember it, somewhere you can guess that something related to unidentified bodies, which is dark in nature, which is the nature of the description is a little bit darker and black. Okay, somewhere you can connect it and you can see black notices to seek information on unidentified bodies. Otherwise this description does not fit well with green notice and blue notice, isn't it? So why would such a description would get connected with blue notice and green notice, isn't it? Somewhere you can link black notice with this. And green notice is to provide warning about a person's criminal activities where the person is considered to be a possible threat to public safety. So green notice is for public safety, and blue notice is for this, to collect additional information on person's identity, location and activities in relation to criminal investigation. Okay, in this way, if you know that this is in current affairs and you can connect this, and if you somewhere link these two, you will be coming up with the answer very easily. Let me show you. So you know that A should be connected to 4. A must be connected to 4 and B must be connected to 1. Okay, so here we can see, yeah, so A must be connected to, you can see here, A must be connected to 4. That means you can, it should be between C and D, and B must be connected to yeah, let me see the question again. let's move on to the third question. Third question read like this. Ships from which of the following? Ships from, third question read like this. Ships from which of the sorry. Okay. Let's move on to the third question. Third question says, ships from which of the following countries have to cross the Strait of Hormuz to reach out to the Indian Ocean? That is the question. Strait of Hormuz is constantly news because of this Iran, USA, Israel war, isn't it? It is constantly news. Yes, so many ships were stranded there, okay, especially blocked by Iran, right? So, and it is also has bearing upon India because it has reduced oil supply and also increased that import bill for us, okay, due to increased cost in oil, crude oil, right? So, because of all these reasons, Strait of Hormuz is a hot topic, very much expected topic. Hence, any question on Strait of Hormuz should be an easy question for you. Okay, so in that case, let's see, the question has been asked. There are few countries have been given. How many countries among the following have to cross Strait of Hormuz to reach out to Indian Ocean? That is the question. Okay, let's see which are the countries that have been given here. So they have given Bahrain, Syria, Qatar, Egypt. Okay, if you just see simple map, so you would see that there is this Arabian Peninsula, right? So this is Arabian Peninsula. This is Persian Gulf. It's Persian Gulf, and there is Gulf of Oman. This is Arabian Sea and wider Indian Ocean. Okay, and the Strait of Hormuz must be situated here. Our Strait of Hormuz must be situated here. You can see here Strait of Hormuz, okay, it connects the Persian Gulf to Gulf of Oman and the wider Indian Ocean. So how many of these countries, ships from how many of these countries must pass through Strait of Hormuz in order to reach Indian Ocean? In order to reach Indian Ocean, that is the question. So any country which is situated in Persian Gulf must cross through Strait of Hormuz, isn't it? So you can easily guess Bahrain is an island country here, okay, so which is situated in Persian Gulf, hence ships from Bahrain must cross through Strait of Hormuz. Okay, Syria is in Levant region. It is not connected to Persian Gulf, it is connected to Mediterranean Sea. The Levant region is connected to Mediterranean Sea. So they can use Mediterranean Sea, then Red Sea, and then come to Indian Ocean. Okay, so it is not needed. And Qatar is a country which is situated in Persian Gulf again, so just like Bahrain, hence Qatar also need to pass through Strait of Hormuz. Okay, then Egypt is situated here, okay, in Africa and some part of Asia, right? So Egypt has access to Mediterranean Sea as well as Red Sea. This is our Red Sea. So through that also you can reach Indian Ocean. So Egypt also not, ships from Egypt as well as ships from Syria do not have to cross through Strait of Hormuz in order to reach the Indian Ocean. So only two countries here, Bahrain and Qatar. So 1 and 3. Okay, so ships from Bahrain and Qatar must cross through Strait of Hormuz in order to reach Indian Ocean. Hence the answer must be B for this. Okay, hopefully this was very simple question, expected questions. Hence hope all of you have done it right. Okay, so next let us move further. So next question, here we need to match the following, Interpol notices have been given and descriptions have been given. Okay, so silver notice, blue notice, black notice and green notice, and the descriptions about them. See here, silver notice was in news, silver notice was in current affairs. That is why I think this question has been asked. Silver notice is a new type of notice introduced by Interpol. Silver notice has been introduced to deal with or to counter these money laundering cases, which is something related to financial criminal assets, right? Hence blue notice must be linked to 4. Blue notice must be linked to 4. Yes, yes. Whereas blue notice is actually related to this, to collect additional information about person's identity. Blue notice would be issued to collect additional information about identity of the person or location or activities in relation to criminal investigation. Black notice, if you see black notice and see the description, you can usually connect the black notice with this to seek information on unidentified bodies. Okay, somewhere this description, unidentified dead bodies, this can be linked to black notice. Okay, because this is something dark, right, or black, so you can link this. Otherwise, unidentified bodies description does not fit well with any of these colors. In that way, if you want to guess it, somewhere you can connect these two. Even if you know two of them, you can easily come at the answer, especially this in current affairs, hence you can link it. Black notice, somewhere you can guess it, okay, and you can link it. Blue notice is this, green notice is this. Green notice is to provide warning about a person's criminal activities where the person is considered to be possible threat to public safety. So green notice is for public safety. Correct? So A must be 4 and B must be 2. Okay, let's see which option fits well with this. Which option fits well with this? A must be 4, yes, and B must be 2, yes, and yeah, so this fits well, hence the answer should be C. Okay, so C is the answer for this. Let us move ahead. Let us move to the next question. What is the next question saying? Next question is regarding, consider the following statements about river bridges. The question is about river bridges. Correct. River bridges connecting India with neighboring countries. So India in neighborhood, and these bridges are not a bouncer for you, not a very difficult question on the expected line. Yes. So let us see how the questions have been framed, how the statements have been framed. Okay. So here you see some of the bridges: Maitri Setu, Jula Ghat suspension, and Meki bridge. 3 bridges they have given. Okay, especially this Jula Ghat suspension bridge is quite popular. Okay, you must have known it that this is one of the important route. Jula Ghat suspension bridge, important route, which is situated on the route or at the border between India and Nepal, which is built across Mahakali river. Which if you know that, because of its popularity, if you know this, you can eliminate you can if you know that it is between India and Nepal, hence Myanmar is wrong here. So 2 you can eliminate. Hence the answer should be between C and D. You need to choose between C and D. C says Meki bridge. Meki bridge is between India and Nepal. Yes, India and Nepal. In India, Pani Tanki bypass in West Bengal, that is correct. Kakarvita in Nepal, that is also correct. So C is 3 is the correct. Maitri Setu built over Feni river. Yes, Maitri Setu, this was in current affairs, this is in news. Maitri Setu built over Feni river. But here what you can get confused is it connecting Ramgarh in India with Sabrum in Bangladesh? These places are little bit confusing for you, because in the past UPSC has given such confusions to you. When I was discussing, when there was a question on international trilateral highway, right? So connecting India, Myanmar and Thailand, where they had changed the name of the places. Okay, here also UPSC has done the same. Here it connects Ramgarh in India with Sambrum in Bangladesh. Okay, it has asked such a question because anybody would think Ramgarh is such a name which is situated in India, right? But it is actually not situated in India. Ramgarh is in Bangladesh and Sabrum is in Tripura, India. So there is a swapping of places. Okay, they have swapped the places. Sabrum must be here, Sabrum in India and Ramgarh in Bangladesh. That is why it is correct. Rest of the explanation is correct. Yes, Maitri Setu bridge built over Feni river. Yes, all of this is correct, but it is not the Ramgarh in India, but Ramgarh in Bangladesh and Sabrum in India, Tripura. Okay, hence answer for this should be D. Correct? You can see UPSC is playing with this, swapping with the place names. Yes, yeah. So let us move ahead to the next question. Let's see next question. Sixth question is here. Which of the following connectivity projects is or are a part of cooperation between India and ASEAN member countries? So India, ASEAN member countries, between them, which of the projects are connected to India and ASEAN? Okay. So here if any country is ASEAN member, of course that would be ASEAN, that would promote India and ASEAN cooperation, isn't it? So you can see Kaladan multimodal transit project, which is quite popular, has been asked in exams in different times. IMT trilateral highway, again UPSC has asked in the previous years. Okay, IMT trilateral highway connecting India, Myanmar and Thailand, IMT. Okay, it's a trilateral highway between these three countries. Myanmar is here, Myanmar is ASEAN country, Thailand is also ASEAN country, and this project definitely builds cooperation between India and ASEAN countries. Kaladan multimodal transit project is basically a multimodal transit project connecting northeast with rest of the India, but through Myanmar. So here also it involves Myanmar, isn't it? So here also it involves Myanmar. So you can say Kaladan and IMT both involve Myanmar and Thailand, which are ASEAN countries. Okay. So even if you know this, you can see the options here. Even if you know these two, you can come to the answer, because all the three cannot be the option. 1, 2, 3 option has not been given. Okay. At least 1 or 2 of them should be correct. So you already know 1 and 2 must be correct, right? So third one you need not even read. Third one is not in the answer, because 1, 2, 3 is not in the answer, isn't it? Hence the answer for this should be 192 only. This Agartala Akhaura rail line, this is between India and Bangladesh. Akhaura is in Bangladesh. I am telling you, Akhaura is in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is a South Asian country. It is not ASEAN country. Hence, it would not promote any cooperation between India and ASEAN members. Hence, 3 cannot be there. Okay. Even otherwise, if you are confident about these two, you can come to the answer very easily. So answer must be 192. Answer must be what? 192. Okay, so let's move ahead quickly to the next question. Question number 7. Question number 7. Let's see what question number is talking about. So here it has again matched the following question is there. So here you need to connect projects which are supported by India and our neighboring countries, projects which are supported by India and neighboring countries, and the country where the project is ongoing. Okay, so see here these projects: Mangdechu hydroelectric project, restoration of Star Palace, district hospital at Dikoya. So you can see here district hospital at Dikoya and Institute of Security and Law Enforcement in Maldives. Here first pick up the easy options. Definitely if you have gone through current affairs, you must have come across this Mangdechu hydroelectric project, which is a 722 megawatt big project. Indian Prime Minister and Bhutan Prime Minister together have inaugurated it. Okay, so that had made a lot of headlines. So you must connect A with 3. Mangdechu hydroelectric project, you must connect A with 3. That means A and 3 okay, can be seen only in these two, where B and C. So these cannot be the answers, okay, because Mangdechu, Bhutan. And restoration of Star Palace. Star Palace is again historical place. This is in Afghanistan. If you know this, you can say B and 2. So B and 2, A is 3 and B and 2 is only here. Hence you can directly come to the answer, arrive at the answer B. Even otherwise, if you can further confirm it, district hospital at Dikoya. This term, otherwise Dikoya name, it suits more with Sri Lanka. Okay, it cannot fit well with Bhutan, also with Maldives. So even if you want to go with the terminologies, the pronunciations and phonetics, Dikoya term is closely related to Sri Lanka. Okay, sometimes it also works in exams. Okay, so the names it can be linked to Sri Lanka. So C must be linked to 4. Yes, and Institute of Security and Law Enforcement Studies, this is in Maldives. Okay, hence our answer for this should be B. Yes. Let us move ahead with the next question. So next question is question number 8. Question number 8. Consider the following statements about platforms for multilateral cooperation. Multilateral cooperation. So there are three platforms have been given here. Colombo Process, Abu Dhabi Dialogue, and Global Forum for Migration and Development. See, all these are in news because of this inter-country or international migration and labor issues and labor protection issues. Okay, so because of them these are in news, all of them are related to that. Okay, if you had read in current affairs or somewhere, if you have followed that theme, you could have answered it. Even otherwise there is a lot of hint in these statements. Using that you can easily come at the answer. I will tell you how. See, let's read the first statement carefully. You will see where you can get the hint. Colombo process is a regional consultative process. So you can see the coherence and coherence whether terminologies used here are syncing with each other or not. See, Colombo process is a regional consultative process. It sounds good. Colombo in Sri Lanka and regional, maybe somewhere South Asia, right? And neighboring related countries, Sri Lanka and somewhere surrounding countries. Colombo process, regional consultative process. It sounds correct. In which member states take binding decisions by consensus. Here, if you observe carefully, you can look this phrase again. Binding decisions. See, it's a Colombo process. Here itself, they have given that it's a consultative process. If it is a consultative process, or if it's something like dialogues and consultative process generally are not binding. Okay, if you have read in the past many consultative processes and dialogues, they had never been binding. Okay, with that commonality, if you had realized this, okay, consultative process cannot be binding decisions. It should be wrong in that sense. Okay, if you have to make some intelligent guesses and try to attempt this question, you can definitely attempt it this way. It's a regional consultative process and it is binding. Okay, these two concepts are antithetical to each other, hence it should be wrong in that sense. Yes, it is wrong even. Okay, and Abu Dhabi dialogue, so then you can eliminate these two. You will be left with only two options, that is C and D. Okay, so in C and D, 2 is common, so 2 must be correct. Abu Dhabi dialogue is a voluntary non-binding. If it is voluntary, it should be non-binding. Yes, it's a consultative process, non-binding, correct. Among Asian countries, Abu Dhabi, Asian country sounds good, right? Of labor origin and destination, yes, it is Abu Dhabi, again it's in UAE, which receives lot of migrants from rest of the Asia. Yes, Asian countries of labor origin and destination, fine, to facilitate regional cooperation and contractual labor mobility. Somewhere if you go through the text and the text of this statement, everything is in sync with each other and it's less likely to be wrong. Okay, it is correct. It is correct. Okay, so 2 must be correct. And when 2 must be correct, let's see 3. The Global Forum for Migration and Development. It's a global forum for migration and development. For the same, theme is same among all these 3. Global Forum for Migration and Development, created upon proposal of a former UN Secretary General. If it is global and it is suggested by UN Secretary General, sounds good because it's related to United Nations General Assembly, which has a global concern. Okay, it's a voluntary forum whose decisions are non-binding in nature. You just have to tell if it is binding or not binding. If it's if it is not such a legal structure which should be binding upon everyone. Okay, so if it is a binding agreement, definitely would have made lot of highlights and headlines. So you can guess that it is also non-binding. So 3 is correct. Okay, so 2 and 3. Okay, so with intelligent guessing, somewhere it is possible for you to make some correct answers in such, make some good guessings. Definitely this will add and boost your scores. Okay, so answer for this should be D. Consider the following, next question, 9th question. Consider the following UN agencies and organizations. UN agencies and organizations. Okay, so 4 agencies have been given. How many of the above have been awarded the Nobel Prizes? Has or have been awarded the Nobel Prize twice. Okay, so it is difficult to remember how many Nobel Prize have received, like which organization has received how many Nobel Prizes, but getting or receiving Nobel Prize twice is a big milestone. It's a big achievement. It gets highlighted. Okay, it's an highlighted point. That can be only few associations which can do that, right? So interestingly, all of these UN agencies and organizations have received Nobel Prize at least once, and among them, how many of them received twice? Okay, if you have read it in your GKs and all, it is only this United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. This is the only UN agency which has received the Nobel Prize twice. Okay, this is a factual thing, or you can also guess. There should not be too many. You should guess how many of the above, right? How many of the above means there is only one. Okay. Okay, let's move further to the 10th question. Again, here you need to match least one with least two. Select the answers using the, you need to compare UN peacekeeping operation with the period of operation. I am telling you, this is a bouncer question. Who would remember these United peacekeeping operations which are pretty older, not recent ones, and that too these years are very close to each other, isn't it? So it's not easy to remember, and I hope I don't know why UPSC is expecting that you need to remember peacekeeping operation years also, okay, which is not humanly possible at all. Okay, so don't get discouraged by such questions. These are some questions here and there. Okay, so it would be difficult for everyone. Ultimately it's a competitive question exam. Okay, and these full forms are also in French. Okay, you can't even get the full forms of them very easily if you do not know French. This is in Liberia, United Nations peacekeeping operations in Liberia. This is in somewhere in Central Africa. This stability mission in Haiti, and this is United Mission peacekeeping mission in Eastern Timor. Okay, so yeah, so answer for this is let's see, you can say this Liberia, you need to remember Liberia is United peacekeeping operation happened between 2003 and 18, and in Central Africa it happened between 2007 and 10. Okay, and the answer for this is B. In that case you can see these two, and in Haiti it is between 2004 and 17. Okay, 4, and then Eastern Timor it is between 2002 and 5. Answer for this is B. It is a very difficult question and it is completely a bouncer for, I hope it is a bouncer for most of you. Okay, most of you, don't get discouraged. Okay, just you can skip this question in the exam if you haven't gone through this. Okay, next, match least one with least two and select using the codes given below. Okay, again this is a difficult question because they have asked different centers of BIMSTECs for different themes. Okay, cultural industry observatory, where is it? Okay, and BIMSTEC Energy Center, where is it? Weather and Climate Center, where is it? Technology Transfer Facility. I hope even I think none of very few of you must have actually could remember the centers of this BIMSTEC here and there. It's a very difficult question. Otherwise there is one hint, there is only one way you could have answered this. This BIMSTEC Technology Transfer Facility was in current affairs. BIMSTEC Technology Transfer Facility was jointly, it was I think in the last year this was jointly announced with a memorandum of understanding collectively by BIMSTEC members in Colombo. Somewhere Colombo BIMSTEC Technology Transfer Facility, that was in news. Somewhere you can connect D with 3. So in that case at least you can come close to between C and D. It should be between C and D. Okay, it should be between C and D, somewhere here. Okay, at least. And another way to solve this is, another way you could have employed is Indian centers you could have remembered if possible. Like if you had known BIMSTEC Energy Center is in Bengaluru, BIMSTEC Energy Center is in Bengaluru, B should be connected to T2. Okay, so then answer must be C. Okay, and also this BIMSTEC technology transfer facility is in Noida, so it should be connected, D must be connected with, technology transfer is in, as I already told you, it's in Colombo. Weather and climate must be in Noida, so C must be 4. C must be 1, and A must be 4. So answer for this is C. Okay, I am telling you, I am repeating this. The one way you could have solved this by knowing the current affairs BIMSTEC technology transfer facility in had been jointly declared in Colombo. Okay, and knowing at least one of these centers between Bengaluru and Noida. Only that is the way. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So I put this question also in very difficult category. Next, this is pretty much easier to moderate level of question. Which of the following countries are members of European Union? This has been asked. Okay, so there 4 countries have been given: Belarus, Poland, Germany and Switzerland. Okay, this is an interesting question. Okay, anybody who knows a little bit of European politics, you would know that Germany is an important player of European Union. Okay, that if you have some general understanding about European Union, you should never forget that Germany is an important member and biggest contributor, right? So 3 must be there. 3 must be there. And Belarus is East European country. Belarus is East European country, isn't it? So this East European country is not a member of European Union. You can eliminate one. So if you eliminate one and Germany must be there, answer would be C in that way. And between Poland and Switzerland, if you need to choose, you must choose Poland, because Switzerland does not actively involve in political matters of European Union or any European in European geopolitics. Switzerland is little bit neutral. Okay, if you have that understanding, in that way also you could have eliminated Switzerland. Okay, because it is much more politically neutral. It is not member of European Union. Okay, so Belarus and Switzerland you can eliminate. If you just eliminate Belarus and include Germany, you can easily come at the answer, that is C. Okay, so these are the 12 questions I have chosen from mapping and IR sections. Hope all of you had important insights, and most of these questions were at the category of moderate. Okay, moderate level questions from this section, and some of these questions were definitely bouncers. I don't know why UPSC, on what logic it has asked such questions. Okay, which demands a lot of memorization. Okay, so which is not humanly possible. Otherwise, majority of these questions are at moderate level. Few are easy category questions were also there. Okay, hopefully all of you enjoyed this, and all of you have gotten good insights which might help you in next year, next attempt, and all the best for your results, all the best for your upcoming exams and upcoming preparations. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I am Vilas Rathod, Geography and Environment Faculty at Laex Excellence IAS. So in this session, we are going to discuss the explanation for today's Geography and Environment Prelims questions. In that question number 21, so that is D, I am taking the D series, right, the set D. So in that question number 21, so in that the question is about volcano. So Tungurahua volcano, which was declared a global geopark by UNESCO in 2025, is situated in. So they are asking this question with respect to location or places in the news, right? And answer for this question is Ecuador, right? Answer for this question is Ecuador. Ecuador is the answer. And Ecuador located in South America. This is the South America continent, and we are having here Ecuador. And even equator also passes from this country, right? Ecuador country. And please remember, this volcano declared as global geopark by UNESCO, and UNESCO is specialized agency of United Nations, right? So your answer is Ecuador. Please remember Peru just located south of Ecuador. We are having Peru here, and Bolivia and Colombia, right? So Colombia located in this region. So these are the other 3 countries, and all 4 countries are part of South America. And answer for this question is A, that is Ecuador. So question number 2, and question number 2 is from environment and ecology. And this question they ask because Madhav National Park was very much in the news. So why it was in the news? Because Madhav National Park was declared as 58th Tiger Reserve of India by National Tiger Conservation Authority. And this Madhav National Park, right? So it became 9th Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh and 58th Tiger Reserve, right, in India. So it is 58th Tiger Reserve of India and 9th Tiger Reserve of Madhya Pradesh, right? And it was added, this national park declared as 9th Tiger Reserve of Madhya Pradesh and 58th Tiger Reserve of India in the year 2025. That's why statement 1 is correct. It was declared a Tiger Reserve in India in 2025. It is exactly correct statement. And second one, so Sakhya Sagar, which is designated as Ramsar site, is situated within this national park. This is also correct statement, right? So here Ramsar site, right? So means wetlands, a wetlands also known as Ramsar site, and it located in this national park. That is correct statement. So statement 3, its area meaning Madhav National Park area. Its area is shared between Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. So that is wrong statement, right? So because its complete area located in Madhya Pradesh only. So there is a district called Sivapuri, right? So Sivapuri district, it complete area located in Sivapuri district of Madhya Pradesh, right? And so this national park will not share any border with Rajasthan. That's the third statement is wrong. First two statements are correct. They are asking correct statements. So that's why answer should be B. 1 and 2 are correct and statement 3 is wrong. Question number 23 in this series, right? It's an Indian geography question, right? And in this they are asking about the climate of Andaman Nicobar Island, and climate of Andaman Nicobar Island, right? So it is a part of again tropical climate or the humid climate, right? So just see the statements here. So in this question, statement number 1, the climate can be defined as humid, tropical, coastal climate, right? So very important terms, humid. So what is the meaning of humid? More humidity, right? So there is more humidity. And tropical meaning, right? So it located between tropical areas, 0 degree equator and 23.5 degree Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees south Tropic of Capricorn. The area between these two tropics, Tropic of Cancer in the north and Tropic of Capricorn in the south, and in the middle equator, this entire area we call tropical area, right? And Andaman Nicobar almost comes in this area. Just listen. So here India located in this region, right? And this is the Andaman Nicobar Islands. Andaman Nicobar mostly comes under tropical region. That's why second this term also exactly correct. First one is humid, right? Why it is humid? Because of more evaporation. Because this tropical area receives more insolation. More the insolation, more the evaporation of water. And due to more evaporation of water, there will be more humidity in the atmosphere. And due to more humidity, right? Please remember this area even gives heavy rainfall, or this area receives heavy rainfall, right? And coastal, because island area means it's a coastal area. And first statement is exactly correct. The climate can be defined as a humid, tropical and coastal climate. So second statement, so it receives rainfall from both southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. That is also exactly correct statement. Just listen. So here southwest, right, and northeast. So southwest monsoon, right, the time period is June to September, and northeast monsoon time period is almost October to Feb. This is the time period, October to Feb, right? So during June to September time period, low pressure exists over Indian landmass. That's why winds comes from southeast trade winds comes from southern hemisphere, and they travels or they enters India as southwest monsoon. They enters even Andaman Nicobar Islands as southwest monsoon, and Andaman Nicobar Islands receives heavy rainfall. So by southwest monsoon branch between June to September. But actually in Andaman Nicobar the rainfall starts actually in the month of May itself. But Indian mainland receives the rainfall in the month of June. and in Andaman Nicobar Islands rainfall starts actually in the month of May, right? So if this statement is also correct, and during northeast monsoon high pressure develops over northern India and low pressure exists near lower part of or southern part of India, right? And the northeast trade winds, they carries the moisture from Bay of Bengal and they gives rainfall in Andaman Nicobar Islands. Means Andaman Nicobar Islands receive rainfall by both southwest monsoon as well as northeast monsoon. So second statement also exactly correct. So third statement, maximum precipitation is between December to May. This is wrong statement. So maximum precipitation is between June to September or May to September, you can mention here, right? Because June we use for mainland, May we have to use for island. Andaman Nicobar Islands receive the rainfall first by southwest monsoon. So third statement is wrong. First and second statements are correct. So answer should be here B. 1 and 2 are correct. So next question, 24th question in D series, that is the Indian geography question. So which of the following geographical features or phenomenon are associated with peninsular block of India or peninsular India, right? Just listen. So here peninsular India. So this southern part of India, right, we call as peninsular India. Listen. This southern part almost south of Satpura range. So this is peninsular India, right? So in that we are having here Mahendragiri hills, right, in Odisha. Then we are having here this one Papikonda, Nallakonda, right, Velikonda in Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh we are having Velikonda hills, and Mahendragiri hills are located in Odisha, and they are the best example of residual. They are the best example of residual mountains. What is the meaning of residual mountain? The leftover part of the original mountain we call residual mountain. So there are 5 types of mountains. One is fold mountain, second block mountain, third volcanic mountain, fourth dome mountain, and fifth one is residual mountain. And Mahendragiri and Velikonda, they are the best example of, right, residual mountain. Even Aravalli mountains also best example of residual mountain. But Himalayan mountains are fold mountains, young fold mountains, right? Remember, so very important question again. So your second statement is exactly correct. First statement is also correct here. Submergence of parts of western coast due to tectonic activity, that is correct, because the western part of India is tilted downward, right, during the plate tectonic activities, because South India, it was part of Gondwana landmass when Pangaea was existing, and the Indian landmass was separated, right? So from Gondwana landmass, and it drifted towards the north, and it collided with the Eurasian plate. The Eurasian plate, it drifted from the north, and Indian plate drifted from the south, and after their collision, Indian plate subducted and Eurasian plate folded up, and due to folding of Eurasian plate, Himalayan mountains are formed, right? So and during the subduction, right, Indian plate it slightly it tilted westward, and that's why western coast of India is submerged coast. Very important point. And second statement, presence of residual mountain ranges such as Velikonda hills and Mahendragiri hills. So second statement is correct, and it is actually third statement, right? Just 1 minute. So because while typing some mistakes happened. So this is a third statement. So V-shaped river valleys formed by fast flowing rivers, right? So it is not the part of this peninsular plateau. The third statement is wrong here, because V-shaped river valleys forms by Himalayan rivers, because Himalayan rivers flows with maximum speed and they causes maximum vertical erosion, and because of maximum vertical erosion the depth of the rivers increases, right? And that's why V-shaped valleys forms by Himalayan rivers. So third statement is wrong. Only first and second statements are correct, right? Answer should be here 1 and 2. B is the correct answer. So next question. So it is environment and ecology question. So consider the following statements about, right? So we call foxtail orchid, right? Or we call as Rhynchostylis ritas. So here it is an epiphytic, listen, it is an epiphytic orchid. That is the correct statement. It is an epiphytic orchid. So that is the correct statement. It is the state flower of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. That is also correct statement, 1 and 3rd. But second statement is wrong. So why it is wrong? Because second statement says that it is endemic to Northeast India, right? Endemic meaning it will found only in a particular area, or it is confined to a particular area, and it will not found anywhere in the world. That we call endemic. But please remember, this species, right? This species or this orchid, right? So it is not only endemic to Northeast India. It is endemic to Nepal. It is endemic to even Myanmar also, right? It is endemic to even Bhutan and Tibetan region also. So second statement is wrong. First and third statements are correct, right? Answer should be B. So B is the correct answer for this question, right? Very important. Next one. So question number 27 in D series, right? Geography related question. It's a current affairs question, right? And it is part of art and culture also. You can interlink with art and culture as well, right? So in this question, which one of the following statement with regard to Moi dams built by the Tai Ahom dynasty or kingdom and inscribed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO is are correct? They are asking the correct statement, and they have given 4 statements here, and among the 4 statements, the 3 statements are wrong. Only one statement is correct here. So here, this Moi dams, these are the burial grounds of royals and nobles, right? So statement 3 is correct and remaining 3 statements are wrong. So answer should be C. C is the correct answer, right? Next question. Question number 28. It is environment and ecology question. So at the United Nations, listen, at the United Nations Ocean Conference UNOC held in June 2025 in France, the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO of the United Nations demonstrated its leading voice on marine and ocean issues, especially on sustainable fisheries and aquaculture for resilient livelihood and blue transformation. So which of the following combinations about the four better proposed by FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, they are asking. So for blue transformation, so here they are asking which are the 4B, right? So this is 1B, second B, third B and fourth B, right? So better production, better nutrition and better environment and better life. So better production meaning, right? So nowadays the population of the world is increasing, and as the population is increasing, right, but at the same rate the food security is not increasing, and for a sustainable development, to manage the environment and to manage the need of the people, right, so we have to focus on the sustainable development and we have to produce what kind of production? Sustainable production, right? The better production or sustainable production, better nutrition, because in recent years, in recent times, right, so because of use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, the quality of the food is decreasing, right, and to increase the nutritional value, to increase the food quality, right, so better nutrition should be there, and we have to promote organic farming, we have to use natural fertilizers to increase the nutrition value of the food, right, and better environment, right. So because you take any kind of development, it can be economic development or it can be social development, it should not be at the cost of, right, environmental damage or environmental degradation. So here whatever development we are doing, right, so it should be sustainable, it should not damage the environment, it should not deplete the environment, right, it should not harm the environment. So that is the reason we call it sustainable development. Sustainable development is very, very important to conserve the environment. That is a better environment and better life. Ultimately we need a good food, we need a good water, we need a good quality air, right. So we need, then only we will have a good life, right. Please remember, so better life, better environment, better nutrition and better production. So these are the 4 B's, right. So that was discussed during the United Nations Ocean Conference. Very important point, right. Next one, question number 29. This is the world geography question, right, and again places in the news. And this question, so they asked because that Turkana lake was very much in the news, and that's why they asked the question. And this year UPSC asks very good questions, right? So it's little bit they ask difficult questions, but you can expect those questions, right? So because the places those are in the news, UPSC interlink with the concepts, UPSC interlink with the statistics, and they ask the questions. So and it is an indication how to approach, right, how to prepare this UPSC exam. So this UPSC exam is very simple, provided you have to interlink your current affairs with your static portion, or your or with your conceptual clarity, right? Very important point. So your question number 29. In this question, the question is about Turkana Lake. Which of the following statements with reference to Lake Turkana are correct? It is largest desert lake in the world. That is 100% correct. It's the largest desert lake in the world, right? It is one of the most saline lake also. One of the most saline lake, and fourth largest salt lake also. Fourth largest more salty lake. More salty lake. Fourth largest more salty lake, right? Remember, the lake is situated in South Sudan along the eastern fringe of Sahara Desert. 100% wrong statement, right? So because Sahara Desert located in northern part, almost northwestern part, right? But Turkana Lake located here, right? Almost near Ethiopia, right? And Kenya country, right? We are having here Kenya. So Kenya country and Ethiopia country, right? So Turkana Lake located near Ethiopia and Kenya. It is not the part of Sahara. So second statement is wrong. And third statement, the lake is listed as UNESCO World Heritage Site and is also referred to as ZC. ZC, this is also correct statement. So third statement is correct. So second statement is wrong, because Turkana Lake, it is not the part of Sahara Desert, it is the part of Kenya and Ethiopia. So second statement is wrong. They are asking to select the correct one. So answer should be here B. 1 and 3 are correct. Next question. So question number 30. It's an environment and ecology question. So which one of the following is the first plan VO certified reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation REDD plus project in India, right? And again, it was very much in the news and it was expected question. So we have discussed this question even during our RRP programs also multiple times, right? So this is, and this it was expected question, right? So REDD, right? REDD meaning reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, meaning, just listen. So because trees or plants we call as a carbon sink. So trees or plants are known as carbon sink, right? So your carbon sink meaning they absorbs atmospheric CO2. So plants absorbs atmospheric CO2. With decrease in CO2, right? So even global warming also decreases. And with decrease in global warming, climate change also decreases. So climate change decreases with decrease in global warming. Global warming decreases with decrease in CO2. And CO2 decreases with increase in afforestation or forestation. Listen, afforestation or forestry. As the forestry increases, CO2 decreases. As CO2 decreases, global warming also decreases and further climate change also decreases. And if deforestation increases, right? Please remember, if deforestation increases, listen, if deforestation increases, then CO2 emissions also increases, and that further increases global warming, and that also increases climate change. And to manage climate change, we have to increase the forest areas. Very important point, right? And that's why, listen, reducing emissions, we have to reduce the emissions by reducing deforestation. If you reduce the deforestation, we can reduce the emissions. So that is the meaning of reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation. And what plus indicates here? So plus indicates sustainable land and forest management. Sustainable land and forest management. Right, sustainable land and forest management. And this initiative taken by UNFCCC, right, during the COPs, right, UNFCCC COPs. But this initiative also taken by the people of Meghalaya, especially in the Khasi Hills, the people of Khasi Hills, right, or the Khasi Hills community has launched this project. And what is the major objective? Increasing the forest area. And what is the main objective of increasing the forest area? To reduce the CO2 emissions. If we reduce the CO2 emissions, we can reduce global warming and climate change. So answer should be here, Khasi Hills Community R&D project. So that project will play very crucial role in reducing CO2 emissions. Next question, question number 31. This is an environment and ecology question. So consider the following statements with reference to India's response to climate change. Again, very important question, and again current affairs question, right? Listen, so in this question, the first statement says that India's long-term low emission development strategy LT-LETS is a crucial tool for achieving net zero emissions by 2070. Exactly correct statement. Listen, so net zero emissions, it is also known as carbon neutrality. Carbon neutrality, zero carbon emissions. So actually this initiative, listen, zero carbon emission initiative launched by UNFCCC or introduced by UNFCCC. So during COP26 in 2021. So during COP26 meaning 26th meeting of UNFCCC, and this 26th meeting was organized or was held in the year 2021, and during this meeting UNFCCC introduced carbon neutrality or zero carbon emissions, right? And when it was introduced, USA and UK agreed to achieve zero carbon emissions by the year 2050, and China and Russia were agreed to achieve it by the year 2060, but India agreed to achieve it by the year 2070. First statement is correct. So second statement, India's fourth biennial update report, right, so submitted in December 2024 recorded around 8% decrease in greenhouse gas emissions in 2020 over 2019. That is also correct statement. And climate resilient development necessarily depends on quick and short term achievement of emission reduction targets. So these three statements they have given, and further they are asking which of the following relationships among above statements are correct, right? So which relations are correct, they are asking. See the first relation, statement 1 is empirically supported by statement 2, that is correct one, right? First statement and second statement are, both the statements are correct, and second statement is supporting statement 1, that is correct. Statement 3 contradicts approach implicit in statement 1, right? Statement 3 contradicts, right? Listen, so statement 3 it talks about short term achievement, and statement 1 talks about long term achievement, right? It talks about long term. So that's why both are contradict, both are opposite, that is also correct. And statement 1 and statement 3 together establish the premise of long term sustainability, that is the wrong statement, right? So because one explains long term, another explains the short term, so both will not explain the long term, that's why it's a wrong statement, right? Third statement is wrong, they're asking to select correct one, only 1 and 2 are correct, right? So again this is about the current affairs question, and this is little bit difficult question, but if you are having the clarity about the topic, so you can easily answer this question, but I will keep this question in the category of difficult question, right? So your answer is B. Question number 32, again it's environment ecology question, and this question also we have discussed multiple time in the class also, and in our RRP program as well. So with respect to western Hullock gibbons, which of the following statements are correct, right? So please remember, a sanctuary in northeast India is home to this ape species listed as endangered in the International Union for Conservation of Nature, that is a IUCN, we call in short IUCN, and it's an endangered species because IUCN having total 9 types of species. In 9 types, right, it is one of the type endangered. So which are the 9 types of species? Extinct species, extinct in the wild, critically endangered, vulnerable, near threatened, list concern, data deficient, not evaluated. These are the 9 types of species. Among the 9, it is one type, endangered. And here gibbons, these are the endangered species, that is correct one. And they have specialized, like branchiation, right? Branchiation, and can easily swing between the trees, that is also correct. They will swing between the trees, correct statement. And they possess a strong and heavy build like gorillas, that is the wrong statement, because gorillas are very massive species, right? They are very massive mammals, right? And third statement is wrong, right? And they are asking to select correct one, only 1 and 2 are correct. So answer should be B. B is the correct answer for this question. Again, this is the environment and ecology question. So which of the following best explains the rationale for protecting mangrove ecosystem in the context of climate resilience, right? So first statement, mangroves reduce tidal energy and store fresh water, 100% wrong statement. So mangroves are halophytes. What is meaning of halophytes? They grows in saline water, they grows in salty water, right? So please remember, so they will not store any fresh water, that is a wrong statement. You can easily eliminate the option because mangroves are halophytes. We have discussed multiple time in the class, right? So because mangroves are halophytes, mangroves grows in the saline areas, mangroves grows in the coastal areas of what? Sea and oceans, or bay or gulf. And bay, gulf, sea, oceans, they are the saline water bodies, right? So first statement is wrong. And they are salt sensitive, again wrong statement. They are not salt sensitive, they are not sensitive to the salt. So because they are the salt tolerant species, remember mangroves are salt tolerant. So salt tolerant species meaning they can easily manage, they can easily adopt to the salty areas or saline areas. They are not sensitive to the salt. Second statement is also wrong. First statement is also wrong. And third statement, by withstanding tidal surges and offering biomass resources, mangroves function both as a natural bioshield and livelihood basis for the rural communities. These two lines are very important, right? Listen, so natural bioshield meaning they acts as a natural defense system for the coastal ecosystems or for the coastal communities. So whenever tsunamis or cyclones or high tides hit the coastal areas, mangroves becomes the a shield, or it becomes the barrier, it becomes the natural defense system and livelihood basis for rural communities, because mangroves provides habitat or shelter and food to many aquatic organisms like fish, and the fishing will provide the employment to the local communities, and many people will visit the mangroves as a part of their tourism activities, right? And again, that is also one of the source of revenue employment for the local people, and it supports the livelihood of local people, right? Just think about the Sundarban mangrove forest. The people nearby Sundarban, right? So their livelihood depends on the Sundarban mangrove because through tourism activities and through fishing activities, right? So remember, so third statement is exactly correct and first two statements are wrong. So answer should be here D. D is the correct answer. Only 3 is correct. First two statements are wrong and third statement is correct. Next one, question number 35. It's an Indian geography question. And again, a very interesting question. Remember, so identify the river of the Indian subcontinent on the basis of the following information. They have given the information and they are asking that information is related to which of the following river, right? So first one, it has an antecedent drainage system. Antecedent drainage pattern meaning, remember, so we are having different types of drainage patterns like antecedent pattern, superimposed pattern, right? And even you can know even radial pattern, trellis pattern, and even we are having rectangular pattern, circular pattern. Different types of patterns are there, and the question is about antecedent pattern. Antecedent pattern meaning the rivers will follow their original path. They will not change their path. They will not change their direction, even though change in the surrounding topography or change in the surrounding landscape. The rivers will not change their topography. That we call as antecedent river. It has an antecedent drainage system. And second one, it flows through 3 countries. It flows through 3 countries, right? Listen here, in these 4 rivers, right? So Tista, you can easily eliminate the option Tista because Tista originates in India and Tista flows through Bangladesh and drains into Bay of Bengal, right? Or drains into Brahmaputra river. So Tista is the tributary of Brahmaputra and it flows only in 2 countries, right? That's why you can easily eliminate option D. And remaining 3 rivers, they flows through 3 countries. All 3 rivers flows through 3 countries. Second statement is applicable to all the 3 rivers. And first statement also applicable to all the three rivers, because Brahmaputra, Indus and Satluj, all the three rivers are having antecedent pattern. Second statement is also correct, because all the first three rivers flows through three countries, right? Now third statement, it originates in the Tibetan plateau and is an important river for irrigation. Listen, even Indus, Brahmaputra and Satluj also originates in the Kailas range of Tibetan plateau region, right? So that is also applicable to all the three rivers. But the fourth statement is very important. The fourth statement will decide the answer here. The first three statements, so this is a common explanation for all the first three rivers. The fourth statement, right? So that will give the answer here, and it does not form distributaries. Please remember, it does not form distributaries. So here Indus River, right? It flows from Tibet, right, and flows through Pakistan and drains into Arabian Sea. And when it drains into Arabian Sea, it forms many distributaries, right? And Brahmaputra River, it flows through Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, right, and India and Bangladesh, right. It also forms many, it drains into Bay of Bengal and forms many distributaries, right. And river Satluj joins Chenab River, remember. So it joins Chenab River. So that's why it will not directly form the distributaries, because it directly joins the Chenab River. So that's why your correct answer is Satluj. Satluj is the correct answer, because Indus also forms the distributary, Brahmaputra also forms the distributary, and Tista joins Brahmaputra, but it flows only through two countries. And Satluj, it will not form any distributary and flows through three countries. So answer should be here Satluj. Satluj is the correct answer. Very important. Next one. So Indian geography, which of the following with reference to Indian states are not correct, right? So again, many students will make mistakes here only. They are asking not correct, but students will mark the answer by thinking that they are asking the correct one, right? But in this question, they are not asking the correct statement. They are asking incorrect statements. They are asking not correct statements. So first statement, right? First statement, Uttar Pradesh shares its boundary with highest number of other Indian states. Exactly correct statement. Uttar Pradesh having maximum border with the 8 Indian states. First statement is correct. And Rajasthan shares the longest international border among the all Indian states. 100% wrong statement. So it is the West Bengal shares the longest border with Bangladesh, right? So second statement is wrong. So your answer should be your West Bengal in the second statement. And Sikkim is the only state that shares its boundary with just one other Indian state. Again, it is also wrong statement, because even Meghalaya is also there. Meghalaya also having border with only one state, that is with Assam. Meghalaya having border with only one state, that is Assam. And here Sikkim having border with only one state, that is West Bengal. So third statement is also wrong. So they are asking incorrect statement. So answer should be here C, right? So don't mark 1. They are not asking correct one. They are asking incorrect. They are asking not correct. So answer should be C, right? So I hope many students mark wrong answer by thinking that so A is the correct answer. By assuming that they are asking the correct one, right? I can understand, because in the exam hall, so we'll be in the panic situation and will not focus that much whether they are asking correct or incorrect, right? So in that hurry burry, we'll make the mistake. That is common, but that is the reason we always ask you people to practice the mock tests, so that you will learn, and so you will come to know where you are making the mistakes, and those mistakes you can rectify or you can avoid in the UPSC exam hall, right? Please come to the point. So your second and third statements are incorrect. So answer should be C. So next one, question number 37, environment and ecology question. So which of the following statements with regard to the arrival of Amur falcons, right? So at Doyong Lake in Nagaland each year from Mongolia are correct. So this question also we have discussed multiple times in the class, right? So Amur falcons. So it showcases how sustained local conservation efforts can contribute to the arrival and protection of international migratory bird. And it's a international migratory bird, and it's the longest migrating reptar. Amur falcon is the longest migrating reptar. It's the longest migrating reptar. So it migrates from Amur. It migrates from Amur river region. Amur river flows between China and Russia, right? and this Amur falcon comes from Amur river to Nagaland, and from Nagaland to Madagascar or Eastern Africa, and again it migrates back to so Amur river region, right? And in this journey it covers 22,000 kilometers, and that is the reason we call longest migrating reptar in the world. So this question we have discussed multiple time in the classes, our GS classes. So first statement is exactly correct. Second statement, it reflects the global success of advanced tracking technology that guide migratory birds, right? So back to their stopover sites, right? This is also correct statement, and it confirms that Amur falcons have adopted to a permanent residency. That is the wrong statement, not permanent. It's a temporary residency, not permanent. So third statement is wrong, and first and the second statements are correct. So answer should be B, right? So again, please remember this statement UPSC may ignore. Because they are saying that advanced tracking technology, right? So it is not like, please remember, it is not that much. You can say correct also, but first statement is 100% correct. So second statement, it is 50% doubt is there, and many people are giving that answer even 2 is correct, and some people are giving only 1 correct, right? So but here as per the information, we have to take second statement also correct, but it depends on the UPSC ultimately whether UPSC will give the option A or option B, right? Here option C you can eliminate, you can eliminate D also, but option 1 and option 2, here 50-50 doubt is there, 1 and 2, so A and B, so doubt is there, right? So answer A and B both may be correct, right? Ultimately it's the UPSC, so which option they will take, but in this I will go with 1 and 2, B is the correct answer. So next one, question number 38, Indian geography. Which among the following are objectives of rain-fed area development program or development initiative under the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture? So here please remember statement 1 is about promoting, listen. So promoting or encouraging monoculture in rain-fed areas. 100% wrong statement. Monoculture or monocropping meaning cultivation of same crop or single crop repeatedly, we call monoculture, and that is not recommended in the rain-fed areas. So we have to grow different crops to increase the nutritional value of the soil. So if you grow the same crop repeatedly, so soil degradation increases, and that further causes desertification problems, and that's why first statement is wrong. It is not recommended to cultivate, or it is not encouraged to cultivate monoculture, monocrop. Increasing rice cultivation in the irrigated regions, because this topic is about the dry area, that second statement is also wrong. And enhancing productivity and minimizing climatic risk through integrated farming system, that is the correct statement. So third statement is correct, and first 2 statements are wrong. Answer should be D. D is the correct answer. Next, question number 39. Okay, the question number 40. So question number 40, it's a world geography question. So ships from which of the following countries have to cross the Strait of Hormuz to reach out the Indian Ocean? And it was 100%, it was expected question because of Iran, Israel and USA war, right? So it was expected question, and we have discussed multiple time in the RRPs and even our GS classes also, in current affairs classes we have discussed multiple time, right? So Hormuz Strait, to cross the Hormuz Strait, right? So we have to cross Bahrain, and we have to cross, right? We have to cross the, right here, Qatar. So Qatar and Bahrain. So Syria and Egypt, they are not the part of Hormuz Strait, right? So Qatar and Bahrain, they are having the border with like Persian Gulf, or and to cross the Hormuz Strait, we have to come from that Persian Gulf only, this region. Listen. So this is the Red Sea, right? And this is the Hormuz Strait, and this is the Persian Gulf, and we are having here Qatar and Bahrain, and Egypt we are having here inside, right? Egypt and Syria we are having in this side, Egypt and Syria. So we are having here Qatar and Bahrain, right? So this question we have discussed multiple times, remember, and your answer is B. 1 and 3 are correct, right? So this is about the geography and environment questions, right? And with this we have completed geography and environment question. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Dhanyawad.
Let's come to the history section of this year's prelims 2026. I would rate it as from moderate to difficult. So let us look at the questions. Which one of the following Carnatic music ragas is similar to Raga Bilawal in Hindustani music? So this is a question on music, as you can understand. They have, if you know the difference between Carnatic and Hindustani music, the answer, this question could be answered. The answer is Dhira Shankara Bharanam or Shankara Bharanam. Both these ragas have all the Shuddha tunes in ascent and descending order, in ascending and descending order. Okay, this is the first question. Let us come to the second question. The artificially fixed rupee sterling exchange rate prescribed by the Hilton Young Commission of 1926 was adopted by the British government for which one of the following reasons? Now, you see, you have something called the home charges mentioned by Dadabhai Nauroji in his Drain of Wealth theory. Every year, the British colonial government of India had to pay a huge amount of money in the form of pound sterling to Britain. These home charges included the pensions of retired British officials, the debt on money borrowed, military expenses, etc. So the British government had artificially inflated the exchange ratio. Exchange pounds could be drastically reduced. This was to safeguard British financial interests. So among the choices given, aiding the flow of remittances from India and maintaining India's creditworthiness, providing support to Indian importers, encouraging export of cotton produced from India, preventing depreciation of the rupee in terms of gold. So the answer for this question is A. A is the answer. Aiding the flow of remittances from India and maintaining India's creditworthiness. Let us move to the third question. Consider the following statements. Pali texts contain the first definite references to coins. Example, Kahapana, Nikha, Kamsa, and Kaka Nika. The literary evidence from Pali text is corroborated by archaeological evidence of punch mark coins from many sites, most of them made of silver. The above statements have been associated with which of the following? Number 1, emergence of urban life. Number 2, transition to money economy. Now, this is a question from the pre-Maurya period, as you can understand, also known as the age of second urbanization or the age of the Buddha. The main source of information are a number of Pali textbooks, including a few archaeological sites. So Pali texts give a lot of information about the punchmark coins, which are mostly in silver and sometimes of copper. So these are the coins mentioned in the Pali textbooks, Karshapana or Kahapana, Nishka or Nikha, etc. So the first statement is correct. The literary evidence from Pali text is corroborated by archaeological evidence is also very much right. So the above statements has been associated with the following: emergence of urban life, that is very much true, because this period witnessed for the second time in the history of India towns and cities coming into existence. Therefore, this period is also called the age of second urbanization or the pre-Maurya period or the age of the Buddha. Transition to money economy, very much true, because in the earlier periods, Vedic period and earlier periods, we had barter system. Precious metals acted as coins. There was no coinage as such. But from the pre-Maurya period, we have transition to money economy. Therefore, the answer for this question would be both 1 and 2 are correct. Select the answer given above, both 1 and 2. C is the answer for this question. Let us go to the next question. Which of the following temples has or have a Nagara style shikara? Malagitti Shivalaya at Badami, Huchimalli Guri temple at Aihole, Dashavatara temple Diogad, Virupaksha temple at Patadakal. Now they are asking which of the temples have a Nagara style shikara. So you know the difference between Nagara, Dravida and Vesara styles, I'm sure. Nagara temples have a curvilinear shikara, and at Badami, which was the capital of the Chalukyas, the Western Chalukyas, we have three sites or places which are the places where we find temples built by the Chalukyas of Badami. That is Aihole, which was a cultural center of the Chalukyas. We have about 70 temples there. Badami and Patadakal. Now, the Malagitti Shivalaya temple at Badami is the best example of early Chalukyan architecture. But that doesn't have a Nagara style shikara, right? Shikara is the spire on top of the Garbhagriha. The Huchimalli Guri temple at Aihole definitely has has a North Indian type of Shikara, Nagara style of Shikara. Vesara style incorporates both North Indian and South Indian styles, as you know. So Huchimalligudi temple definitely has a curvilinear tower over the Garbhagriha, and the Dashavarata temple at Diogad also has a curvilinear tower. So the answer for this question is 2 and 3. Virupaksha temple at Pattadakal is in the Kanchi style. It imitates the Kailashanatha temple at Kanchipuram. Therefore, the answer for the fourth question is 2 and 3. That is B. B is the answer. Let us go to the next question. Among the 4 main forms of existence of life recognized in Jainism, which one of the following is not included? So they are asking which is not included. Deva, gods; Yaksha, demigods; Manushya, humans; Tiryancha, animals and plants. So Jainism as a religion says that even if gods exist, they are inferior to the Jina. And it believes in 4 forms of existence. One is Deva, that is true, that is correct. Manushya is the second. Naraki is the hell beings, and Tiryancha, animals and plants. There is no Yaksha mentioned in the 4 forms of existence in Jainism. Therefore, the answer to this question is Yaksha, demigods. That is not included. So the answer for the 5th question is B, right? Let's move on to the next question. The Hallisa Lasya painting in the Bagh caves represents what? A joyous folk dance, Buddha in a meditative pose, the depiction of Shiva and Parvati on Kailasa, and Samudra Manthan, churning of the ocean. So this is the Bagh caves in Madhya Pradesh. Belongs to the Gupta period, as you all know. Ajanta, Bagh and Chittanavasil, they belong to the Gupta period. So here the Hallisalasya painting in the Bagh caves is in cave number 4, that is called the Rang Mahal, where we have folk dance. It's basically a painting on a mural painting on the walls of the Bagh caves in cave number 4, and we have basically the painting depicts folk dances, agricultural activity, etc. So this is that cave is called Rang Mahal. That is mentioned. So the answer for this question is a joyous folk dance. A joyous folk dance is the answer. Consider the following statements. Let us go to the next question, 7th question. Consider the following statements relating to the use of the place value system in India. Place value system is, units, tens, hundreds, thousands. That is called place value system. The earliest epigraphic use of the place value system in India is found in the Mankani plates from Gujarat, belonging to the 6th century AD. In the 9th century, second choice, in the 9th century, place values become general in inscriptions all over India. The third statement says the place values have been found in Sanskrit inscriptions in Southeast Asia as early as the 7th century. Now, the Mankani plates from Gujarat are the earliest epigraphic use of place value system in India. So that is correct. But then there is some controversy regarding this aspect where some scholars don't believe that. We have one more plate which precedes the Mankani plates, but that is found on a manuscript. But this one is it is the earliest epigraphic use. So that statement is correct. In the 9th century, place values become general in inscriptions all over India. That is also true. After the Gupta period, Aryabhatta, Varahamira, Aryabhatta is called the father of algebra. He invented the concept of zero, etc. So it becomes common from 9th century onwards. And the place values have been found in Sanskrit inscriptions in Southeast Asia as early as the 7th century. That is also true because we have the Pallavas taking Indian culture across the Bay of Bengal. So we do have mention of place values even in Southeast Asia. So the answer for the 7th question would be D. D for Delhi. 1, 2, 3 is the answer. Let us move on to the next question, 8th question. Consider the following statements about the archaeological findings in Harappan towns. The first statement says, there is wide occurrence of spindle whorls in the houses but absence of spinning wheels. Second statement, weights and measurement scales complete with graduations have been discovered. In the third statement, there are houses built in large part with baked bricks around relatively spacious courtyards with their own wells, bathing platforms and large rooms. Which of the following inferences can be drawn from the above statements? Statement 1 suggests that spinning was a laborious activity done at home. Statement 2 suggests the extent of the scientific knowledge that the Harappans possessed. Statement 3 suggests the emergence of a common property system. Now, spindle whorls have been found in many of the Harappan sites. So it is nothing but a stick with a spindle, and the Harappans used to twirl the fiber around that particular spindle. So spinning wheels have been not found. Spinning wheels were a later introduction into India. So spinning wheels have not been found in any of the Harappan sites. So the first statement is correct. Weights and measurements, scales complete with graduations have been discovered. That is also true. So the first statement says that spinning was a laborious activity done at home. That is correct. It matches the first statement with the first choice given. Then second statement says weights and measurements, scales complete with graduations have been discovered. That suggests the extent of scientific knowledge that the Harappans possessed. That is very much true, because weights and measures were used both for commercial purposes as well as in building activities. They also used the plumb bob, the Harappans. We have straight walls, 90-degree walls. So we have found both weights and measurements, measuring scales in various Harappan sites. So the second statement is also correct. The third statement says there are houses built in large part with baked bricks around relatively spacious courtyards with their own wells, bathing platforms and large rooms. That is also correct. But the statement 3 suggests the emergence of a common property system. That is not true. We cannot infer that there was a common property system. They had private properties, not a common property, right? And of course you have economic classification. Economically, the Harappan society was divided. You have a rich, you are a poor, and also probably a middle class. So you cannot presume, we cannot presume from the type of houses they built that there was a common property system. Therefore, the answer for this question would be only 1 and 2 are correct. The third statement would be wrong. So wherever is these 3, that cannot be the answer. So answer is 1 and 2 only. That is A. A is the answer for the 8th question. Let us move on to the next question. Which one of the following statements about the Eka movement and Bardoli Satyagraha is correct? The Eka movement, you understand, it happened in 1921, the Eka movement, and you have people like Ramachandra, Jinguri Singh in the 1920s, and Madhuri Pasi, who was the leader of the Eka movement. So let us talk about it. The Eka movement was throughout supported and organized by the Congress, while Bardoli Satyagraha was initially independent of Congress influence and was only in the last stages supported by the Congress. So Eka movement was throughout supported and organized by the Congress is not correct. It was a grassroots level rural movement, peasant movement in Uttar Pradesh. So the first statement is wrong, right? And Bardoli Satyagraha throughout was supported by the Congress. So it was not that initially it was independent of the Congress, etc. So the first statement is wrong. The Eka movement was provided leadership by the Talukdars of Awadh. No, they were against the Talukdars. No, against the rich landlords or zamindars or talukdars. So it was not, it was a grassroots level rural movement, peasant movement. So therefore, the second statement is also wrong. Then the statement says, whereas the Bardoli Satyagraha was a movement of the landless laborers. No, definitely not. It was not. Was a movement of the landless laborers. No, it was against the arbitrary increase in the land revenue. So the second statement is wrong. Also, the Bardoli Satyagraha was a campaign against the enhancement of land revenue. That is very much right. The Bombay government had increased the land revenue by 22%, and against this particular arbitrary increase in land revenue, the Bardoli Satyagraha took place. It was led by Vallabhbhai Patel, who got the title of Sardar after that, and the Maxwell-Broomfield Commission was established. But the Eka movement was a protest against excessive extraction of rents. That is true. So the answer for this question is C. C is the answer. Let us also look at the D part. The Eka movement was located in the Varanasi and Mirzapur districts of the present-day UP, while the Bardoli Satyagraha took place in Saurashtra. Bardoli Satyagraha did not take place in Saurashtra. It took place in the Surat district of the present-day Gujarat. So they are not in Saurashtra. So therefore, the answer for this question, 9th question, is C. C is the answer. Let us move on to the next question. Consider the following statements about the Rig-Vedic period. Irrigation from wells allowed agriculture to expand away from flood plains and strips on river margins into the present Punjab and Haryana plains, having underground water levels reasonably close to the surface. drought animal power was employed to draw up water out of the wells. Which of the following information supports the above statements? There is evidence in the Rig Veda of the use of Ashma Chakra, stone pulley wheel and Ahava, strapped wooden pails to draw up water. Mention has been made in the Rig Veda of the use of implements like Parashu, oblique Kulisha or axe, and Datra or Shreni, sickle. There is a history of the use of ox even before the Rig Veda for plowing the land and pulling the carts. Now, during the Rig Vedic period, the main occupation of the Rig Vedic Aryans was pastoralism, animal husbandry, but agriculture was a supplementary activity. You all know that. And the Rig Veda mentions about a few agricultural implements like Datra, sickle, Kulya, irrigation canals, etc. So, irrigation from wells allowed agriculture to expand away from floodplains. That is correct. There is evidence in the Rig Veda of use of stone pulley wheel and Ahava to drop water. So, that is true. Mention has been made in the Rig Veda of the use of implements like Parashu, Datra. That is also true. There is a history of the use of ox even before the Rig Veda. That is true. Harappans knew about plowing, and they must have used the oxen, bulls to plow the land. So obviously, all the three statements are correct. 1, 2, 3. B is the answer. B for Bombay. That would be the answer for the 10th question. Consider the following assertion. In the Pleistocene period, Pleistocene is Ice Age, as you know. In the Ice Age or Pleistocene period, either the Yamuna once flowed into the Indus or the Satluj flowed into the Yamuna, and one major tributary of either had shifted from the Ganga to the Indus or vice versa. Which of the following is or are the basis of the above assertion? Now, very interesting question. Choices, let us look at the choices. The Nadis Sukta of the Rig Veda, the explorations of the Satluj and the Yamuna by Robert Bruce Foote, the presence of the same species of dolphins in both the Indus and the Ganga river systems. So if you look at the three choices given here, let us look at the second and third. The explorations of the Satluj and the Yamuna by Robert Bruce Foote. Robert Bruce Foote is the person who is called the father of prehistory. He was the one who found Paleolithic tools at Attirampakkam, and such places. Pallavaram, Attirampakkam. So therefore he is called the father of prehistory. Therefore, this is not correct. Okay, the second statement is wrong. We can reject that. The presence of the same species of dolphins in both the Indus and the Ganga river systems, they are not of the same species. Genetically and morphologically, the dolphins found in the Indus and the Ganga river systems, according to scientists, are different. They are not of the same species. So the answer to this question obviously is the first question, the Nadi Sukta of the Rig Veda, which mentions about various rivers and its tributaries. So that would be the logical answer for the 11th question. That is one only. A is the answer for the 11th question. Let us come to the 12th question. What does an empty seat represent in early Buddhist iconography? Now, you have certain symbols which were worshipped, referring to the Buddha. The Hinayanis worship the symbols connected with the life of the Buddha. Lotus and bull for his birth. Then for his, going away from the palace, they worship the horse, here Kantaka. Then the people tree or the sacred fig tree for his nirvana or enlightenment, and the stupa for his death. Now here they are asking, what does an empty seat represent? So an empty seat, look at the choices given, the meditation of the Buddha, the Buddha's first sermon, Buddha's first, that is Dharma Chakra Pravartana. Buddha's Mahaparinirvana is the stupa, which is symbol of that. And the Buddha's Mahabhinishkramana, the great departure, where he went away on the horse. They worship the horse. It refers to the meditation of the Buddha. Okay? So the answer for this question is the meditation of the Buddha. An empty seat refers to the meditation of the Buddha, or the presence of the Buddha. It doesn't mean anything else apart from that. That would be the answer. A is the answer. Now, 13th question. Which of the following pairs of ancient and modern names of rivers is or are correctly matched? Vitasta, Chanab, Asikini, Jhelum, Parushni, Ravi, and Yavyavati, Bias. So this is a pretty easy question. Jhelum, Vitasta, Chanab, that's wrong. Asikini, Chanab, it should be Chanab, not Jhelum. Parushni is Ravi, that is correct. And Yavyavati refers to the Zob river in Balochistan, or it could be the Chautang river or one of the paleo channels. So the answer to this question is 3 alone. Purushni Ravi is the answer. So 3, that is C. C is the answer for this. Which are correctly matched? C. Purushni Ravi. Which of the following statements on the Amaravati Stupa and its relief sculpture is or are correct? It was located in the lower Krishna Valley. It is correct. In India, it was next only to the Sanchi Stupa in size. And the Amaravati School of Sculpture made a lasting impact on the later South Indian sculpture, and its products were carried to Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia. Now, regarding the Amaravati Stupa, it was built by the Shatavahanas and improved upon by the Ikshvakus. It is located in the lower valleys of the Krishna Valley, that is correct. So the first statement is correct. In India, it was next only to the Sanchi Stupa in size. Now, according to historians and archaeologists, the Amaravati Stupa was a much bigger stupa than the Sanchi Stupa. Sanchi Stupa is next in size, not the other way around. Therefore, the second statement is wrong. Amaravati Stupa is much bigger, or was much bigger than the Sanchi Stupa. And the third one, the Amaravati School of Sculpture made a lasting impact on the later South Indian sculpture, that is correct. It influenced the sculpture of the Pallavas and also of Southeast Asia. So therefore, 1 and 3 is the answer for this question. 1 and 3, C. B for Bangalore. That is answer, 1 and 3. Right? Which is correct, they're asking. 1 and 3 is the answer. Thank you. 15th question. Which of the following pairs of the king and his dynasties in early historical Tamilakam is or are not correctly matched? So this is a question from the Sangam age, as you can understand. Let us look at the question, choices given, which is not correctly matched, they're asking. Senguttuvan Chera, that is correct, as you know. Udayanjaral, again he was the greatest of the Cheras. He was not a Chola king. Udayanjaral was the greatest of the Chera kings. Nedunjalian was the greatest of the Pandyas. Okay, and so therefore here, which is not correctly matched, is 2 only. Udayanjaral was a Chera king, not a Chola king. Right, so the answer for the 15th question is 2 only. B for Bangalore. I'll come back to the 16th question. Which of the following factors contributed to the formation of the forward bloc by Subhash Chandra Bose in 1939? Let us look at the choices given. Number 1, Bose failed to win the confidence of Mahatma Gandhi. Number 2, the Congress left was disunited and failed to support Bose. Number 3, the communists did not support Bose in his endeavors. And number 4, the supporters of M.N. Roy and socialist leaders like Jai Prakash Narayan preferred Congress unity to supporting Bose. Now, they're asking which of the following factors contributed to the formation of the forward bloc. So the answer is 1, 2 and 4. That is, B is the answer. The communists did not support Bose in his endeavors. Communists were supporting the British, right? The communists were supporting Congress as well as the British. So therefore, the answer for this question is 1, 2 and 4. B is the answer. Right? B would be the answer. 17th question. Consider the following statements regarding the British policy in Awadh immediately after its annexation in 1856. Let us look at the statements. Number 1, the Talukdars were dispossessed of their estates but allowed to retain their arms and forts. Number 2, a summary revenue settlement was made in 1856, assuming that the Talukdars were outsiders. Number 3, the British believed in taking revenue directly from the peasants by removing the Talukdars. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Now, as you know, in 1856, Wajid Ali Shah was pensioned off by Dalhousie, and Awadh was annexed by Lord Dalhousie on the ground of good of the governed, or on the grounds of misrule. Now, the Talukdars, that is the rich zamindars, chieftains, they were dispossessed of their estates but allowed to retain their arms and forts. No, that is not correct. In fact, their forts were destroyed by the British. Their forts were destroyed and they could not retain their arms. A summary revenue settlement was made in 1856, assuming that the Talukdars were outsiders. This is correct. The British believed in taking revenue directly from the peasants by removing the Talukdars. This is also correct. So the answer for this question is 2 and 3. A is the answer. A is the answer. So they established a revenue settlement system wherein they could directly collect land revenue from the peasants. Okay, and they also dispossessed the influential section of our society, which was one of the reasons for the outbreak of 1857 revolt, because many of the soldiers, most of the soldiers in the British Indian Army, a sizable amount of them came from Awadh. Let us go to the next question. 18th question. Consider the following assertion. The genesis of political alliances based on community lay in the very nature of the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms of 1919. Which of the following statements support or supports the above assertion? Number 1, reforms retained and extended the principle of separate electorates. Number 2, separate electorates were supposed to counter Indian nationalism, which was growing stronger. And number 3, deprived classes rallied around the favors inherent in separate electorates. Now, the genesis of political alliances based on community lay in the very nature of Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Here, you have separate electorates granted to 4 communities. It was an extension of the system of separate electorates. As you know, Muslims were given separate electorates in the 1909 Minto-Morley reforms or 1909 Act. Now, in the 1919 Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, 4 other communities were granted separate electorates. That included the Sikhs, the Indian Christians, Europeans, and Anglo-Indians. And of course the Sikhs. So reforms retained and extended the principle of separate electorates. This is correct. Separate electorates were supposed to counter Indian nationalism, which was growing stronger. That is also correct. Deprived classes rallied around the favors inherent in separate electorates. This is not true, because the deprived classes, they were given separate electorates only by the Communal Award of 1932 of Ramsay MacDonald. So the answer for the 18th question is 1 and 2 only. That is C. C is the answer. Let us go to the 19th question. Pandit Mallikarjun Mansoor, the famous classical singer from Karnataka, represented which gharana? Agra gharana, Gwalior gharana, Patiala gharana, Jaipur Atrauli gharana. So it is Jaipur Atrauli gharana. That would be the answer for this question. Jaipur Atrauli gharana. So they have asked 2 questions on music this time in the exam. Right? We'll come back here. Next question. In which one among the following texts does the term Kshetra Patni, mistress of the field, originate? So here the word Kshetra Pati is mentioned in the Rig Veda, whereas the word Kshetra Patni, is mentioned in the Atharva Veda. That is the answer. Atharva Veda would be the answer. Mistress of the field. It is in the Atharva Veda. Factual question. 37th question and the last question. Which one of the following statements with regard to the moidams built by the Thai Ahom kingdom and inscribed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO is or are correct? Moidams, as you all know, they were burial sites of the Ahom kings of Assam. So it's a very straightforward question, and this was included in the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and quite a few articles came a few years back. About 2-3 years back. So let us look at the choices here. They acted as army fortresses. They were recreation centers of the royals and nobles. They were burial grounds of the royals and nobles. They were battle drill centers of the royals and nobles. No. The answer is 3. Only C. C is the answer for this. And they are basically found in Chairadio, which was the capital of the, which was the early capital of the Ahom kings. So here the UPSC history section this year, I felt that it was between moderate to difficult, more on the difficult side I felt, but that's how UPSC is. Thank you.